20%. Chapter 81 Hidden Past, How Wise and Near. Title Soldier Demon. Ask for customization. Great Elder, you still don't understand. The Baixiang Taoist shook his head with a bitter smile and finally gave an explanation. 2 hours ago, Mercy Hua came to me with 5 girls and asked me if I was willing to surrender. It's not about accepting peace, it's about accepting only surrender. Quote. As the sect master of the Burning Incense Valley, will my heart to love the sect be weaker than yours? At that time, I refused with words. Although the Taoist is powerful, he can easily extinguish the incense burning valley, and he is qualified to pinch my incense burning valley, but my incense burning valley is not muddy, and if the fish die and the net is broken, it is not impossible to bite off a piece of their meat. As a local force in Qingchuan province, we should watch and help each other. We are good at alchemy in the incense valley, and we can regularly take out pills as compensation. Speaking of this, the Baixiang Taoist paused. And his last few words made everyone feel a little familiar. If you think about it carefully, isn't it what the great elder Dead Leaf said before? Obviously, the sect master also considered the issues of dignity, inheritance, and interests, and also moved to reason with affection, and even proposed to be a younger brother. But looking at the result, did he finally accept the surrender completely? But in the end, I chose to surrender. Baixiang Taoist sighed heavily and continued. The 5 girls came with the 046-winged purple thunder lion and defeated me with only one move. 35. Shish. The elders' hearts trembled. Baixiang Taoist is the sect master of the Burning Incense Valley, a cultivator in the late stage of the Gathering Spirit Realm, one step away from the peak of the Gathering Spirit Realm, although as an alchemist is not good at fighting, but there are many pill means, not good for the other party. Once, when the Baixiang Taoist was looking for a spiritual medicine in the Fierce Beast mountain range, he was chased and killed by a mad-armed spirit ape at the junior level of Zan, but escaped unharmed. It was with this strength and means that he could surpass Ding Chuchun and accept the position of the sect master of the Burning Incense Valley. But now, he actually couldn't block the 6-winged purple thunder lion's move. Then don't these people add up to a trick? And the 6-winged purple thunder lion is just a pet taken by Zhang Chushuan. Everyone finally understood the helplessness of the Baixiang Taoists. Bargaining is a situation where the strength of the two sides is similar, at least when the weaker side does have the ability to threaten the stronger side. But when one side is completely passive, and whether or not to survive is completely decided by the other party, there are naturally only 2 options, surrender and death. Originally, whether it was surrender or death, I should have discussed with everyone, and those who were willing to surrender at that time surrendered, and those who were willing to die for the honor of the Incense Valley went to die. Quote. I'm sure you won't be the ones who steal your life. 35. At least I am willing to use my own name to burn the reputation of the Burning Incense Valley, and I will not be ashamed of the ancestors of the Burning Incense Valley below. The serious words of the Baixiang Taoist made the elders embarrassed. Elder Dead Leaf took a deep look at his master-nephew and said quietly, then why did you do that thing just now as if you betrayed the Burning Incense Valley? The voice was not questioning. Obviously Elder Dead Leaf believed the words of the Baixiang Taoist. But he was very puzzled as to why the Baixiang Taoist changed his attention. The great elder still doesn't understand. 99. Baixiang Taoist smiled bitterly, pointed to the ghost-swallowing bottle in Zhang Jingxi's hand, and said sharply, naturally, it is because of these traitor evil cultivators. The 4 words of traitor evil cultivator contain the endless hatred of the Baixiang Taoists. It is precisely because of the existence of these 3 guys that the Burning Incense Valley has no bargaining chips with the Zhang family. Don't forget, although the Burning Incense Valley is the weakest of the 3 sects, it is the alchemy sect. This alchemy is a price. I did join the Zhang family on behalf of Burning Incense Valley before, but I still wanted to talk about treatment, but the 5th girl said that Burning Incense Valley is not qualified. Haven't done it. I think the Zhang family is too deceitful, but the 5th girl offered to gamble with me at this time. This is also the reason why I just cooperated with the 5 girls to test you. As you can see, I lost the bet. Baixiang Taoist sighed deeply. And this will, Elder Dead Leaf and the others all figured it out. It is not that the Baixiang Taoist did not think about the Incense Valley, but was powerless to think about it. The Zhang family does not accept. The fish dead net is broken, the strength of the Zhang family is there, and the strength of the Incense Valley is insufficient. Die generously, but there are evil cultivators inside the Burning Incense Valley. When the Zhang family will make a fuss about this, the Burning Incense Valley will leave a stigma in the world, leaving a stench for 10,000 years. They have only one choice, and that is to surrender. Only in this way, although the incense valley is destroyed, they do not have to die, but their reputation can still be preserved. The alchemy of these people has become a weight to preserve the reputation of the burning incense valley. But the point is that they still can't hate the Zhang family, and they even have to thank them. Because so far, all the people in the burning incense valley killed by the Zhang family are evil cultivators, and they are undercover agents of the evil path hidden inside the burning incense valley. It's really, completely calculated. Thanks again. Quote, quote. The elders shook their heads with a bitter smile, but they could only accept their fate. Everyone also felt the mood of the Baixiang Taoist. Old thief Zhang, it's really still that old thief Zhang. The name of the soldier demon is well deserved. Elder Dead Leaf suddenly sighed. Soldier demon. The Baixiang Taoist felt that this title was somewhat familiar, and wondered, does the great elder know the Zhang family patriarch? Of course I do. Elder Dead Leaf sighed a little and said, Zhang Chushuan is 5 years younger than me, and he is a person of the same era as me. Before I was identified as a talent for alchemy and joined the Burning Incense Valley, Zhang Chushuan was the only one among the younger generation in Qingchuan province. Quote. He is not famous because of his martial arts talent, on the contrary, his qualifications are average, and the 3 sects do not look at him. But he has the ability to command the troops to fight. The peak record, I remember he lined up his troops and defeated 10,000 cavalry of the same realm with 1,000 steps. Hiss, hiss, hiss. Everyone present was completely shocked, and Zhang Jingxi was no exception. No one knew that Zhang Chushuan still had such a brilliant record. In the same realm of war, I have never heard that the cavalry wins more with fewer and slaughters infantry. I never thought that someone would actually defeat the cavalry with infantry. How is this a 100-fold gap? If it weren't for the destruction of his Dantian later, he was destined to not be able to break through the gathering spirit realm, and he would have been accepted as a core family general by the 8 major families at that time, right? Maybe now, you can also have a place in the Vietnamese military. Elder Dead Leaf continued to release bombs, and everyone's hearts were a little numb. How powerful a person must be in the use of soldiers in order to attract the attention of the 8-rank family when his cultivation talent is not good, it is completely demonic. Soldier demon, is this what it means? Understood. No wonder Lingxia town has been impregnable all these years, and even the nearby troops have been evacuated. Understood. No wonder Zhang Chushuan has so many means in Lingxia town. It turns out that people are soldier demons. Zhang Chushuan. 007 Smart People's Brain Supplement, the most deadly. But blessings are really bad. 99. Elder Dead Leaf said with some sighs. If it weren't for the destruction of his Dantian back then, if he really wanted to join the Bapin family, he would definitely have died in Qingchuan Mansion 35 years ago. It's not like today, but borrow yourself to create an 8-pin family, even the Incense Valley can swallow. Now that Zhang Chushuan is out of the mountain, he still has the strength of the transformation spirit realm, this Yu Guo. No, it's the whole of Nanyangzhou. I'm afraid it will change a lot of the situation because of this. As he spoke, Elder Dead Leaf felt the blood in his body suddenly boil. Following the Zhang family is inevitably not a brighter road. I didn't expect my father to be so powerful. No wonder that Shui Li and his family were backed by the County Jupin family, and they didn't dare to force too much, and they were tempted. It turned out that they were all scared and stupid. Quote. A glimmer of realization flashed in Zhang Jingxi's eyes. Then she put away the ghost-swallowing bottle, took out 3 jade janes and threw 100 incense Taoist, and said lightly, my father said that if the incense burning valley is willing to join in, this will be a meeting gift for you. 99. Gift. Baixiang Taoist was stunned for a moment. Your Zhang family was so tough just now, it is persecution and majesty. He burned Incense Valley and wanted to surrender for a long time, that is, to order benefits, you refused to give. As a result, now that you have completely accepted your fate, you returned the meeting gift. With suspicion, the Baixiang Taoist swept the contents of the jade simple with divine sense. The next moment, his eyes widened directly, and he couldn't help but expose a foul word. Shet native swearing. Funny, it's actually these things. 99. 21%. Chapter 82 3 Matters. Shocked, where is Zhang Jianan? Subscription required. These things. These things. These things. After the Baixiang Taoist saw all the jade janes, his mouth opened wide, but he couldn't speak. Sect Master, what's wrong with you? Seeing that the Baixiang Taoist looked like he had never seen the world, Elder Dead Leaf frowned slightly, took the jade jane, and released his divine sense to investigate. The next moment, He also opened his mouth wide and began to, these things. This scene successfully aroused the curiosity of the other elders, and one by one, they all released their divine senses to investigate the content of the information Jade Jian. Information Jade Jane is different from Chuan Gong Yu Jian and can be flipped through infinitely. Shish, Xuanji Pill Building Jidan's Danfang. Ancient Alchemy Technique. 100 Refining Pill Method, Human Rank and Yellow Rank Chapter. Oh my god, there is actually a Zon rank alchemist who has the experience of alchemy. The supreme treasure of the alchemist. After reading all the contents of the 3 Jade briefs, all the strong people of the Burning Incense Valley Gathering Spirit Realm were excited, their cheeks reddened, they stomped their feet excitedly, and shouted, opportunity has come. Seeing this scene in his eyes, the corners of Zhang Jingxi's mouth hooked up a good-looking arc. This meeting gift is good, right? It's not just good. The Baixiang Taoist smiled bitterly and said, if the 5th girl takes out these things directly, there is no need to make such trouble just now, and Burning Incense Valley is also willing to surrender. 35. That's right. 39. This meeting is too precious. I am willing to surrender in the Burning Incense Valley. The words of the Baixiang Taoist attracted the echo of the other elders. Listening to the tone, these are not jokes. But Zhang smiled noncommittally. The 3 Jade Janes she took out, one of which was the Danfang treasure book, believed to record 100 human rank pills, 30 yellow tier pills, and 10 Zon rank pills. Human level elixir Danfang, incense burning valley basically have it. However, the yellow order pill Danfang, the burning incense valley has a maximum collection of 10 kinds. As for the Xuanji pill Danfang, there is only one fragment, which exists as the treasure of Junzong. Seeing these Danfang, the people of the Burning Incense Valley were naturally excited. In the words of Zhang Chushuan, nothing attracts alchemists more than Danfang. If there is, it must be an alchemy technique, a note from a master of alchemy, and those 108 heavenly fires. Skyfire, the Zhang family does not have it for the time being. However, some special alchemy techniques and notes of alchemy masters were recorded in the other 2 jade slips. These things were all collected by Zhang Chushuan from his fellow villagers these days, specifically to recruit these alchemists of the Burning Incense Valley. An alchemist can top 100 of them in him. Such a fortune, of course, must be collected. Alchemy is a side business, coupled with the reproducibility of information. Zhang Chushuan mixed in the chat board, and quickly collected a lot from fellow villagers. There are many fellow villagers who even give him free of charge, just want to have a good relationship with him. And after these things were rewarded by him 100 times, the preciousness would even move the 7th rank alchemist when he saw it, which can refine the earth tier pill, not to mention that these elders of the Burning Incense Valley were all 9 rank alchemists refining yellow rank pills. It's a temptation that's hard to resist. But to say that these things alone will make them surrender and sell their lives, it is really not enough. The main reason why I am so excited now is that I have accepted my fate before. Slap and give another candy to eat. The old man's methods are really practical. Zhang Jingxi muttered in his heart, don't be excited, this is just a meeting gift. My Zhang family created the Dan Hall, and you will all become one of the deacons at that time. As long as you make meritorious service for the family, whether it is doing family tasks, or alchemizing for the family, or going out to fight, etc., you can get merit points. Dan Fang with merit value. Earth level elixir. Follow-up advanced means of alchemy techniques, more experience and experience of alchemy masters, everything. Zhang Jianxi's words undoubtedly dealt a fatal blow to the elders of the Burning Incense Valley Gathering Spirit Realm. They have no doubt about the veracity of the former's words. Originally, they had already decided to surrender in the Incense Valley, and there was no need for the Zhang family to give this so-called meeting gift. But the Zhang family still gave it, and it was so valuable. So isn't it a matter of course to have something more valuable? For a while, they felt that joining the Zhang family was a very good choice. I'm determined to serve the family well. The crowd immediately expressed their loyalty. Zhang Jingxi didn't care about this. Anyway, the family was managed by Zhang Chushuan. Go for it. As I said, my Zhang family came with sincerity. 39. Send me just one over as proof. Zhang said something beautiful, and then stood up from his seat. She plans to let Chihua be a guide and take a good tour of this incense-burning valley. This alchemist holy place in Qingchuan Mansion, but the place she wanted to come to the most before, although now a word can make this place disappear, but she still wants to see the realization of dreams. However, hearing what she said, Zhang Zixi and Mercy Hua couldn't help but roll their eyes. You came alone. Then those dark guards outside the burning incense valley who were ready to come in and clean up the battlefield at any time or decorations. Just after taking 2 steps, Zhang Jingxi's movement was sudden, and he reached out and took out a token from the Na ring. The token is black throughout, with light on the surface, and it is still shaking. This is the Xuantian mainland version of the mobile phone. The fantasy version of the communicator only has the function of calling, and the communication range is extremely wide. The lowest level yellow tier communication token has a communication range of 3 million equal kilometers, 1/3 of a rooster almost the size of a Lintang county, and the communication range of the Xuanji token communication reaches 10 million square kilometers. Further up the ranks, the token communication range is even broader, and there are some special abilities. However, the Zhang family can only buy yellow tier communication tokens at present, and after Zhang Chushuan's 100-fold reward, it will become dozens of Zan rank tokens, and there is only a communication effect for the time being. This communication token needs to be controlled by aura, so it cannot be used if the strength is not in the Tongji realm. Aunt, Grandma, I'm here to solve it, what about you? Zhang Jingxi casually pinched a special spell, and the token immediately stopped, and then Zhang Yanren's voice was heard. My side has also solved it, killed a few evil cultivators, all the others joined my Zhang family, and the task given by my father was completed perfectly. Zhang Jin replied, and then asked, how is Yan Yan over there? How much has it dropped? Hearing the content of the conversation, Baixiang Taoist and Elder Deadwood and others immediately pricked up their ears. Everyone is a brother, and they are very interested in the situation of the other 2 cases. Aunt, no one on my side confiscated, but all the resources of the Xingyu sect were packed. Zhang Yanren's voice with some disgust came from the token. This Xingyu sect is too dirty, more than half of the undercover evil cultivators of the Earth Evil sect, the entire sect. Zhang Yanren told what he had investigated. As she spoke, the expressions of Baixiang Daoren and others gradually became solemn. They didn't expect that the Xingyu sect, which had been the first sect in Qingchuan Mansion for decades, would be so chaotic. Zhang Jingxi was slightly stunned, and then showed a disgusted expression and said, this Xingyu sect is really full of garbage, up and down, inside and out, all rotten. You have done a lot of words, my Zhang family does not need such waste. If it's my sister-in-law, remove those miscellaneous disciples, and even those educated outer doors must be cleaned up. The cultivation methods of the Star Vein and the core elder disciples of the Star Moon sect can be said to refresh the lower limit of the 3 views of Zhang Jingxi and others. These things sound disgusting, and I don't know how they can do it. Where is the need for so much trouble? Nangong Mushui's voice suddenly came from the communication token. If you want me to say, just let Zishi or Jingjing directly extinguish the entire sect, easy and happy. Everyone slowed down their thinking for a beat until Zhang Yanren's voice sounded. Great-grandmother, did you wipe out the Sea-Tide sect? This one. Nangong Mushui stood on the head of the black crystal worm, looking at the corpses in the Haichao sect below, and said lightly, the ancestor of the Haichao sect came out of the customs and broke through to the transformation spirit realm. I saw with my spiritual eyes that he was a half-human, half-ghost body. As for the disciples of the Sea-Tide sect, many of them have continued to have ghost energy in their bodies without knowing it, and they are easily ghosted. This sect, do you say you need to keep it? Although Nangong Mushui did not answer positively, everyone understood the answer she gave. The disciples of the Si Chao sect were all slaughtered. This alerted people such as Baixiang Taoist and Dead Leaf. The Zhang family is good to themselves, but they are also really ruthless to the enemy. Don't be an enemy. Zhang Jingxi quickly ended the communication with the 3 daughters. Elder Dead Leaf, formerly known as Lin Gai, hesitated and asked, 5th girl, can of Zhao ask the next elder Zhang patriarch, where is he? 35. After listening to the brief conversation between the 3 of Zhang Jingxi just now, it is not difficult to analyze that the people sent by the Zhang family to solve the 3 sects are all women in the clan. Zhang Chushuan's wife solved the Haichao sect, the youngest daughter solved their burning incense valley, and the 3rd generation eldest lady was responsible for solving the Xingyu sect. Lin Gai did not feel that he was being despised. After all, these are all incarnation realm powers. It's just that he knows a little about Zhang Chushuan, and he has a vague premonition that Zhang Chushuan did not come forward in person, and even a man in their family did not come forward, so he must have done something. And this matter is more important than the destruction of the 3 sects. What would that be? You said, Daddy. Quote. Zhang Jin cherished his hands behind his back and said with a smile, Elder Dead Leaf, What do you think is the biggest problem for my Zhang family to destroy the three major sects, or the biggest problem that will be faced soon? 39. Naturally, it is the Qingyan sword sect. 35. Elder Dead Leaf replied without thinking. Lanyu Pavilion and the Yu royal family compete internally, and attach great importance to the management of the rights of each province. In the past, Qingchuan Mansion was controlled by the Yu royal family, but now it is indirectly controlled by the Qingyan sword sect, the younger brother of Lanyu Pavilion. The three sects were destroyed, and Lanyu Pavilion was not good to come forward in person, but the Qingyan sword sect definitely had to take care of it. Wait, after blurting it out, Lin Gai finally came to his senses and said in shock, could it be that the patriarch took someone to solve the Qingyan sword sect? 7. 21%. Chapter 83 Qingyan sword sect's inner gate Dabi, Qingchuan Mansion's 8-pin Zhang family, worship the sect to try the sword. Subscription required. The Yu Kingdom has 3 counties, namely Dongyu County, Lanyu County, and Lintang County. These 3 counties are nominally the territory of the Vietnamese country and are the sphere of influence of the Vietnamese state. But in fact, the only county completely controlled by the Yu Kingdom is Dongyu County, and the prefectures in the county are officially administered and the army is stationed, among which the families of the same rank are stronger than the sect. The situation in Lanyu County is completely opposite. The right to speak is completely in the hands of the Lanyu sect of the Protector sect, and all the provinces in the county are also dominated by the Bapin sect, and the local government and family have become puppets used by the sect to manage the place. Within Nanyang Prefecture, the Yu Kingdom and the Lanyu sect are one, working together wholeheartedly against the other 4 countries and the Protector sect behind them. However, in Vietnam, the twin engines are in competition. Lanyu County and Dongyu County are completely incapable of meddling between the 2 sides. Lintang County has become the focus of contention between the 2 sides. 35 years ago, there were 10 major provinces in Lintang County. The first was Qingchuan Province, the second was Qingyan Province, the third was Lintang Province, where the county seat was located, the third was Qingxiao Province, and there were several behind. At that time, Qingchuan Province and Lintang Province were under the direct jurisdiction of the Yu Kingdom Imperial Hall, while Qingyan Province and Qingyan Province were influenced by the Lanyu sect through the sect. In the game of Lintang County, the Vietnamese royal family has a clear upper hand. But a battle of the strong changed all that. Almost all the forces loyal to the Yu royal family in Qingchuan Mansion were all destroyed in one day, and the 2 great cultivators of the incarnation spirit realm in the first mansion could not take it out. Qingchuan Province is located in the southwest of Lintang County, separated from Lintang Province by Qingyan Province and Qingyan Province. To the northeast of Qingyan Province is Lintang Province, and to the northeast of Lintang Province is Dongyu County. Directly north of Qingchuan Province is Qingyan Province, and to the north of Qingchuan Province is Lanyu County. This favorable geographical situation, coupled with the destruction of the power of the Yu state government in Qingchuan Province, made Lanyu County receive information much faster than the Yu Kingdom court. After another battle between the open and the dark, the Lanyu sect asked the first sect of Qingyan Mansion, the top sect of the 8 pins, to send people to contact the 3 major 9-pin sects in Qingchuan Mansion and grasp the situation in Qingchuan Mansion. 010. However, the Yu Kingdom Chaotang was not to be outdone, and after a series of operations, Qingchuan Province changed from the first in the original Lintang County to the bottom. Nowadays, Lintang Mansion and Qingyan Mansion are vying for the first place in Lintang County every year, which also means that next year, who will dominate the Lanyu Pavilion and the Yu royal family in certain matters. Qingyan Mansion, on the other hand, is firmly on the 3rd throne. There is the Qingyan Mountain Range in the territory of Qingyan Mansion, and the Qingyan Mountain Range stretches for 5,000 miles, about 2 anling daxing, of which the highest mountain is more than 500 li, and the Qingyan Sword Sect, a top sect of the 8 grades, is located here. Boom, clang, boom, a melodious bell suddenly rang, easily spreading out for tens of miles. On the steps of the Qingyan Sword Sect's mountain gate, countless people began to climb the mountain, which was very lively and full of people. Among these people, there are the heads of the Jupin sect and some small quasi-9-pin sect heads with their own disciples and genius disciples, and there are the patriarchs of the 3 major 8-pin families in Qingyan Fucheng, and some on-site Jupin family patriarchs and the quasi-9-pin patriarchs of the important town, who came with their lineage. In addition, there are some major chambers of commerce presidents, famous scattered cultivators in Qingchuan Mansion. These people, all of them were invited by the Qingyan Sword Sect to come to watch the annual inner sect disciple Dabi. Boss Shu, I didn't expect you to come too. Aren't you here too? Qingyan Sword Sect is the strongest sect in Lintang County. Its sphere of influence covers Qingyan Mansion and Qingchuan Mansion. I and other small sects are completely incomparable. This time I came. The best disciples under the sect came to watch the battle. Let them understand that there are mountains outside the mountain. Hee. I also brought the 3 most talented people in the clan. Let them see the real genius, and the province caused me trouble in the county all day. Quote. Ha 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 tilde operator. An interesting scene soon appeared on the mountain road. Many people know each other, don't know each other, and have heard the name AEE. Everyone talked and laughed, and who was stronger at this time was reflected at once. For example, the 3 patriarchs of the 8-pin family were all surrounded by them, just asking for a familiar face. Soon, these people came to the square in front of the Qingyan Sword Sect Hall in groups. The square in front of this hall, also known as the Qingyan Sword Trial Platform, is 10 huge special metal platforms. The platform is square in shape, 5 meters high, arranged in a row on the square, clean and neat. Around the square, there are viewing seats directly excavated on the mountain, and outsiders can go here to sit down and watch the ceremony. Of course, if a VIP came, it would definitely be introduced to the VIP seat set up at the entrance of the main hall of the Qingyan Sword Sect. For example, the 3 patriarchs of the 8-rank family, all of them were great cultivators of the transformation spirit realm, and after having a polite exchange with the people around them in the square, they came to the VIP seat. With the passage of time, the outer and inner disciples of the Qingyan Sword Sect gradually arrived. The outer disciples all went to the side viewing platform to sit and watch the battle, while the inner disciples all gathered in the square, holding long swords and standing upright like pines and cypresses. On the viewing platform, the outer disciples of the Qingyan Sword Sect came together in 2s and 3s, and they were commenting. 9 of the top 10 disciples of the inner gate came from the last session, and senior brother Meng Zhang, who was the first in the far inner gate, has been promoted to core disciple, and this time I don't know who will be the top 10th. It may not be just the 10th, maybe there is a dark horse to kill. No matter how dark horses there are, senior brother Pei Chong will definitely be the first in a row. The focus of the discussion among the disciples of the outer sect was the 9 disciples standing together, some of them with a rebellious temperament and murderous aura. Someone was smiling and looked gentle. There are also people with expressionless faces, cold eyes, and not angry and arrogant. These 9 people stood together, faintly converging into a sword force and spreading out, attracting the eyes of many people on the viewing platform. Worthy of being the strongest inner disciples of the Qingyan Sword Sect, the momentum of light qi is extraordinary. There are many people who admire in their hearts. Some people pointed to these inner and outer disciples of the Qingyan Sword Sect and popularized science to the juniors around them. The Qingyan Sword Sect has a door rule. The whole sect practices swords, and you can only become an outer disciple before the age of 20 to break through the late stage of the refining body realm, 7 to 9, otherwise you can only be a miscellaneous disciple, and go down the mountain after being over 25 years old. If you want to become an inner disciple of the Qingyan Sword Sect, you can take the inner door assessment after the 10 levels of the refining body realm, and if you pass, you will become an inner door disciple, once a month. If you break through the gathering spirit realm, you can directly become an inner door disciple. Outer Gate Elder. In the later stage of the gathering spirit realm, you can become a core disciple. A personal disciple is a disciple of the elders of the inner gate. There are a total of 9 inner sect elders in the Qingyan Sword Sect, all of whom are spirit transformation realm cultivators, among which Yi Qingyu, the head of the Qingyan Sword Sect, is in the late stage of the gathering spirit realm, and Yi Hai, the ancestor of the Qingyan Sword Sect, is the peak of the transformation spirit realm, and there is still 1 step away from the Jaden realm. 8-rank top sect, it's not easy to mess with. Countless people are awe-inspiring. The Qingyan Sword Sect, 35 years ago, was the 4th largest force in Lintang County, and was suppressed by the 3 top families of the 8 products in Qingchuan Province. But since that incident, the Qingyan Sword Sect has been a worthy number 1 force in Lintang County. Coupled with its Lanyu Pavilion as a backer, it is a well-deserved giant. Everyone couldn't help but be shocked by the strength of the Qingyan Sword Sect. At this moment, a girl's innocent voice suddenly sounded on the viewing platform. Father, the Qingyan Sword Sect is so powerful, so why does the Zhang family in Qingchuan Mansion dare to brazenly provoke? This question is a huge viewing platform. All of you are strong people. Even if the elders at the peak of the refining body realm bring juniors to watch the ceremony, they are also the best among them, otherwise it is impossible to be invited by the Qingyan Sword Sect. So what the girl said, they heard. Lingxia Town Zhang Mansion released news that the three sects of Burning Incense Valley, Xingyu sect, and Haichao sect are evil sects, and they want to take action to destroy these three sects, and the news is only circulating in Qingchuan province for the time being. But all of you here are the masters of one side, and naturally there are sources of information. Something so big happened in Qingchuan Mansion, it was impossible for them not to hear about it. But no one took this matter to heart like this girl. They believed that the Zhang family had risen and became the Bapan family. Still that reason, as a warrior, or just for the word, fight. Fight for chance, fight for Taoists, fight for territory, compete for resources and power. Fight with warriors, fight with demon beasts, fight with heaven. There are only people in Xuantian continent who pretend to be pigs and eat tigers and hide whole cards, but absolutely no one will be stupid enough to brag about their strength. Doing so will only make yourself die faster. But if it is said that the Zhang family dares to destroy the three families of the Burning Incense Valley, no one believes it. Little girl, what you heard is a rumor that has been processed by others, and the Zhang family categorically does not dare to destroy the three major 9-rank sects such as the Star and Moon sect. Yes, the Zhang family is an 8-pin family. According to the regulations, you can't casually make a move against the 9-pin forces. If you really make a move, then the Qingyan sword sect will not sit idly by then, and this Zhang family is not much different from the 9-pin sect in front of the Qingyan sword sect. Quote, not bad, the strength of the Zhang family is estimated to barely reach the 8th rank, and it is not as strong as the three major prefecture families of my Qingyan mansion, so they must not dare to make a move against the three sects of the Burning Incense Valley. That Qingchuan mansion has been at the end of 35 years, and the Zhang family is just a tiger in the mountains, and the monkey is called the king. Yes, this Zhang family released those remarks, but it was just grandstanding, jumping beam clowns, and promoting the 8-pin family to float. As the first person spoke, the crowd was excited for a while, and everyone was belittling the Zhang family between words. And they did this naturally to elevate the three 8-rank families of Qingyan Fucheng and the Qingyan sword sect and brush up their good feelings. In their opinion, the Zhang family was no stronger than the Qingyan sword sect no matter what. And they are the forces in Qingyan Mansion, and there is no need to be afraid of the 8-pin family in Qingchuan Mansion. There is no harm in everything, why not do it? Oh operator. The girl was popularized by so many enthusiastic elders, and nodded her head as if she didn't understand. Many disciples of the outer sect of the Qingyan sword sect felt very useful when they heard the words of these guests. One of the men with a sword walked up to the girl and said very forcefully, this junior sister, that Zhang family is nothing at all. If you want me to say, he must know that my Qingyan sword sect has held an inner gate competition in the past few days, and he has no time to pay attention to the trivial matters in Qingchuan Mansion, so he deliberately did it so that he could establish his prestige. But when my Qingyan sword sect frees its hand, it will immediately clip its tail and become a man. So 35. Boom, boom. Without waiting for the young man to finish speaking, a sharp phoenix roar suddenly sounded in the sky above the Qingyan sword sect. Immediately after, a voice full of breath resounded throughout Qingyan Peak. Qingyan Mansion Bapan family, Zhang family Zhang Chushuan, bring children and grandchildren to worship the sect to test the sword. 21%. Chapter 84 Riding Suzaku comes, the sword shakes the sword sect. Subscription required. In the Xuantian continent, there is a set of rules that have been circulating for hundreds of thousands of years, or even longer. When one party goes out and visits another force, it needs to reveal its identity first, in order of place of origin, rank of power, family or sect to which it belongs, and finally its own name. Qingchuan Province Bapan family, Zhang family Zhang Chushuan. This clearly identifies the person who is responsible. Qingchuan Mansion, head of the Zhang family, Zhang Chushuan. This is surprising, but not a gaffe. The patriarchs of the three 8-pin families of Qingyan Mansion were not also present. But now, the entire Qingyan Peak was silent, and no one spoke. Worship the sword. 66. Are you sure it's not worshipping? Finished product. Countless people felt their hearts shouting. They think that either the Zhang family is crazy, or the world is crazy. Bai Zong tried the sword and worship the sect, those are two different things. Simply visiting the sect can be a friendly visit, it can be to come to study, or it can be simply to inform the other party that I am coming. For example, when the three daughters of Nangong Mushui went to the Haichao sect and other three sects, they said that they worship the sect. In fact, they were informing the other party that my Zhang family had arrived. At the same time, he is asking, are you ready to die? Worship can do many things, depending on the situation. But Bai Zong's sword test is different, it is a naked provocation. Translated into one sentence. I'm here to smash the field. 39. This can only be done between the same order potentials. But there is no great enmity, and few forces do such things. Although the Zhang family and the Qingyan sword sect are both 8-ranked, the former is a newcomer and the latter is an old brand. The former is inferior, the latter is top. Not at all comparable. Did the Zhang family commit suicide? 39. This idea came to the minds of countless people. No one expected that the Zhang family, who were still ridiculed by them just now, actually took the initiative to find the Qingyan sword sect. Boom, boom. A slightly dull phoenix chirping sounded in the sky again, attracting everyone on Qingyan Peak to look up not far away. Qingyan Peak towers into the clouds, but there are still clouds on the clouds. The natural wonder, infinitely powerful, also reflects the power of the Qingyan sword sect. At this time, I saw that on the endless white clouds, a piece was dyed gold. The golden clouds were pulled by some powerful force, and suddenly rotated and condensed into an eye of the wind. At the eye of the wind, a red giant bird waved its wings and fell. Its shape was like a brocade chicken, covered with red feathers, and the feathers seemed to be covered with flames, burning non-stop. Shish! Everyone gasped. Immediately after, an exclamation sounded on Qingyan Peak. Suzaku. It's indeed Suzaku. I've seen the 4 elephants Saint Beast clan pattern. Will there be any Suzaku here? There is someone on the Suzaku. Is it the Zhang family of Qingchuan Mansion? How is that possible? Suzaku is a family of holy beasts, one of the strongest fierce beast groups in the middle region. There are countless emperors in the clan, great saints. Each Suzaku is born into the Jaden realm, and it can be distracted when it comes to adulthood. How can the Zhang family have one and ride it? Countless people were shocked. There are many people who wipe their eyes, and many people pinch their arms, and they don't believe it when they pinch it. The Suzaku in the sky is real to look at. But no matter how you think, it is not logical. Buzz, buzz, buzz tilde operator. Around the Qingyan sword sect square, a sword tremor suddenly came to mind. 49 long swords shot out from all around, turning into a sword dance array, showing white sword rays shooting towards Suzaku. It is mainly composed of 7 yellow rank extreme grade long swords, supplemented by 42 yellow rank upper grade long swords, forming the 49 cold sky sword light array. 55. The Qingyan sword sect is really extraordinary. On the back of the Suzaku beast, Zhang Chushuan faded out. In the face of that shocking sword mang, his expression did not change in the slightest, until the sword was about to approach the Suzaku beast. He took out the long knife behind his back and gently swung it out. Boom. For a time, the aura rioted, forming a blood-colored sword, and the surface was full of chi, and ordinary people saw it, afraid that they would be affected by killing intent in an instant. The sword and sword touched together, and the strong energy collided, emitting bursts of sonic booms. That explosion point, in which the peak martial artist of the ordinary refining body realm was in it, would also turn into flying ash in an instant. Suddenly, a layer of blood chi erupted above the sword, and a fierce momentum rose up, driving the sword to destroy the sword, and then fell towards the Qingyan sword sect hall below. The 49 long swords seemed to have a sense, and they converged together in a special way, condensing a physical big sword, facing the blood-colored sword. The blade was blocked, and then began to crack inch by inch. At this moment, Zhang Chushuan said lightly, "Cut." 35. As soon as the word fell, a mysterious momentum appeared on his body, connected with the sword in the distance. Bang! 99. In the end, the blade exploded and dissipated into a blood mist. The great sword also exploded, turning into 49 long swords and flying out in all directions, returning to the position it had when it appeared. At this moment, a group of people walked out of the main hall of the Qingyan sword sect. The leader is a middle-aged man with a resolute complexion. The whole person is like a sword ready to be sheathed at any time. His eyes are as bright as stars, and his gaze is like a sharp sword. Knife force. Master Zhang's good means. No wonder I rushed to try the sword, but I am qualified. The middle-aged man slowly spoke. His voice was calm, with a sense of righteousness, which made people subconsciously want to be convinced. This person is the current sect master of the Qingyan sword sect, Yi Qingyu. A kendo genius who broke through to the late stage of the transformation spirit realm at the age of 40 and had already comprehended the half-step sword power. Sect master Yi's means are not bad. Zhang Chushuan put his hands behind his back and said lightly. Both sides did not exert their full strength just now, and even 1% of the force may not be used. The Qingyan sword sect is testing Zhang Chushuan's sword trial qualification. Zhang Chushuan directly showed the knife force so that Yi Qingyu did not waste time to detect. The potential is indescribable. Anyone who can comprehend the situation in the transformation spirit realm is a genius, even regardless of age. For example, Yi Qingyu himself, comprehending the half-step sword force, can be on par with his teacher, Yi Heido, the current elder of the Qingyan sword sect, and also has an advantage. The real potential must be more powerful. 0 Asking for flowers. Genius is not to be humiliated. Although it was not clear what Zhang Chushuan was specifically cultivating, even if he was only a great cultivator in the early stage of the transformation spirit realm, relying on the sword strength, he could defeat the 90% transformation spirit realm elders of the Qingyan sword sect. This is genius and deserves to be respected. How much did the Zhang family master comprehend? Yi Qingyu asked with some expectation. Those who comprehend the trend, 30% can only be used, and 60% can be formed. This means that those who comprehend more than 60% of the potential can initially manifest the potential, which is visible to the naked eye and even observed. Yi Qingyu has been trapped in the half-step sword momentum for many years, and she really wants to see the real force. But in the entire territory of the Yu Kingdom, even those real people in the Jaden realm did not comprehend the situation, and he never had a chance. And today, Zhang Chushuan is coming with momentum. As sect master Yi, sure you want to see you now. Zhang Chushuan's slightly playful gaze swept around. Now, it's the time for the Qingyan sword sect to compare. Countless inner disciples waited. Countless outer disciples and foreign guests watched. It's me who is impatient. 35. 0.0. Yi Qingyu took the scene into account and immediately waved his hand at a chair next to my seat. Yes. Immediately, the disciple in charge took out a chair from the Na ring and placed it next to Yi Qingyu's chair. This position is in the most central position of the VIP seat at the entrance of the main hall of the Qingyan sword sect. This shows Yi Qingyu's importance to Zhang Chushuan. But there were so many scenes, no one felt that there was anything wrong with this. It doesn't matter if Zhang Chushuan came to worship the sect to test the sword, although the worship sect tried the sword to kick the pavilion or even smash the field, it was not to destroy the sect and could not form a mortal enemy. It's normal for warriors to compete with each other, isn't it? Which strength does not make some big comparisons? Everyone only needs to understand one thing: Zhang Chushuan comprehended the sword force. Even if Zhang Chushuan was only in the early stage of the transformation spirit realm, even if he only comprehended a sword force, he could exert the strength of a great cultivator in the late stage of the ordinary spirit realm. Leapfrog battle, exclusive to geniuses, it's that simple. The most important thing is that those who comprehend the power of the sword, as long as they do not die, they will definitely be able to not, and there is a 70% chance of forging the divine mansion. One word. To everyone here, Zhang Chushuan is now a big guy and a giant guy in the future. The Zhang family master took a seat. Yi Qingyu made a gesture of please. The imaginary scene of direct tearing did not appear. But this did not surprise Zhang Chushuan. He directly showed his sword strength in order to make the Qingyan sword sect have an attitude. Is it bad to be respected? Is it bad to be worshipped? Is it bad to be touted? Passively pretending to be a pig and eating a tiger, it is comfortable to kill home. But taking the initiative to play a pig and eat a tiger is equivalent to somehow finding scolding and then hitting your face back, then you are not also scolded. What a fool's act. Boom. The Suzaku organ beast slowly landed in front of the main hall of the Qingyan sword sect. Observing up close, countless people finally saw the true face of this Saint Clan fierce beast. Yi Qingyu's pupils shrank. This turned out to be Tier Beast. River. 21%. Chapter 85: How to Try the Sword. Yi Qingyu. Kneel and beg you to take action personally. Subscription required. Then Suzaku is a beast. Fortunately, it's not a real Suzaku. 35. Are you stupid? This is the Earth-level beast Suzaku. Although it is not comparable to the real Suzaku, it is also valuable. Won't you? Not to mention the Qingyan sword sect, Lanyu Pavilion does not have a ground-level beast. Steps. Hehe. Lanyu Pavilion has Zon rank organ beasts to count me as losing. The Zhang family actually has such a background. As Yi Qingyu's shocking voice sounded, the scene was in an uproar. Organ beasts were no strangers to cultivators on the Xuantian continent, and at least 3 of the 10 refiners were proficient in organ beast making. Specifically, this is actually a kind of puppet prop, but the organ beast is more subtle than the general organ equipment, and it is in the form of an animal, which is a harmless weapon and sweeps thousands of armies. The classification of mechanical beasts is exactly the same as that of fierce beasts, but this refers to combat power alone, and there are still many differences in subdivision. Human-level beasts are more mechanized, amazingly powerful but not flexible enough, and completely need to be controlled by the owner to use, but if the manipulator's operation means are powerful enough, they can even threaten the cultivators of the gathering spirit realm. Those Jupin families and sects that have existed for more than 300 years will have some such beasts as whole cards. Yellow tier organ beasts can withstand aura, and if the 010 control master's aura, it is more convenient to use, and the power that organ beasts can exert is even more amazing, accompanied by various incredible effects. For example, flying beasts can allow cultivators of the gathering spirit realm to fly, and stealth beasts can take people to drill and dive. However, the cost of these beast materials is very expensive, and most spirit realm cultivators can't afford them, let alone gathering spirit realm cultivators. Special parts will be added inside the Zon tier organ beast, which can absorb energy sources such as spirit stones, spirit spring water, and various energy crystals to drive, act autonomously, and help martial arts fight. As long as there is enough energy in hand, the owner is equivalent to having a spirit thug who will not feel tired and painful. This kind of beast is extremely expensive, and the cultivators of the Jaden realm can barely afford it after consuming their life savings. But you can afford it, but you can't afford it, and you can't afford to maintain it. However, when it comes to the earth level, there is no problem that the oil cost is too expensive, because the construction of the beast body of the earth level organ is a special material that is needed, and these materials can be used to set up the gathering spirit formation. Earth tier beasts can independently absorb spiritual energy through formations to maintain their drive, but in order to burst out with strong enough lethality, it takes a long time to accumulate or swallow enough energy in one go. For example, Zhang Chushuan, a Suzaku beast, burns spiritual fire all over its body and flies with its wings autonomously, and only needs to use the formation itself to absorb spiritual energy to maintain. At least 70% of the body of the Earth tier beast is forged from Earth tier metal materials, and the hardness is extremely amazing. If it is combined with the gathering spirit realm formation to absorb the aura, even if it is controlled by a refining realm martial artist, it is enough to fight against a great cultivator of the incarnation spirit realm. If there is enough energy to devour, the beast Suzaku can also use the maximum killing move, which is enough to threaten the life of a real person in the Jaden realm. It is equivalent to saying that Zhang Chushuan rode a mechanical beast comparable to a real person in the Jaden realm to come to worship the sect and test the sword. In terms of this comparison of financial resources, not to mention the Qingyun sword sect, if the Yu royal family and Lanyu pavilion come, they will only be crushed. It is indeed an earth-level beast. It's also my luck to get it. Zhang Chushuan smiled indifferently. He said this from the bottom of his heart, and he sincerely felt that he was lucky. This mechanical beast Suzaku was originally a Zon rank upper grade quality, opened by a traverser from a treasure chest, from the Qinshi plain, but improved by a virtual panel. The traverser contacted Zhang Chushuan early on, hoping to exchange this beast Suzaku for resources. Zhang Chushuan is naturally 100 original meanings. Getting this Zon rank upper grade beast Suzaku is equivalent to immediately having a combat power comparable to that of a great cultivator in the late stage of the spirit realm. If you reward it 100-fold, wouldn't it be beautiful? But the other party's high asking price is a little outrageous, and I just want to climb to the sky in one step. Zhang Chushuan is not unable to afford the price. With this 100-fold increase ability, one after the other doubles, his profit margin is a full 10,000 times. As long as the other party's asking price does not exceed this range, he will not lose. But the other party doesn't know about this. Is it okay to be completely a lion opening his mouth to kill the unjust head? Although there are many benefits to getting the beast Suzaku, Zhang Chushuan does not have to get it, so he is not used to this kind of person and directly refuses. This matter is closed for the time being. Until yesterday, the seller came back to him. Zhang Chushuan is a cunning old trader, and after some testing, he determined that the other party's situation was urgent. So he frantically lowered the price, and when the other party was about to collapse, he traded the beast Suzaku at a price far below the market price. After a 100-fold increase, this beast Suzaku became a low-grade organ beast under the Earth tier. The Zongjia heritage has increased again. Good luck. The Zhang family master really loves to joke. 35. Yi Qingyu thought that Zhang Chushuan didn't want to talk more, and didn't entangle himself more about this issue, so he made a gesture of invitation. Patriarch Zhang, please. Sect Master Yi, you're welcome. Zhang Chushuan smiled slightly, and was not polite, and sat down directly in a position second only to the main seat. Behind him, the three brothers Zhang Yanmo, Zhang Yangfeng, and Zhang Yanting also found a place on the edge of the VIP seat. At this time, everyone's attention is on the VIP seat. Seeing Zhang Chushuan sitting down, no one felt wrong. Even the patriarchs of the Qingyan Fucheng family, who were also 8 products, did not feel the slightest inappropriateness, and even thought about how to talk to Zhang Chushuan. The Zhang family is obviously outrageous, and the background is also amazing. Everyone is an 8-pin, maybe there is a chance to make friends and cooperate to do something. In front of the family, there are only interests. As long as you can earn profits, don't say give Zhang Chushuan face, let them call them dad. Great elder, let's start. Don't let the Zhang family master wait for a long time. Yi Qingyu sat on the main seat and urged the great elder of the Qingyan sword sect to preside over the inner gate Dabi. The Zhang family came to the Qingyan sword sect to test the sword, and in his eyes, it was no longer a provocation but a communication. This exchange may even affect him, the sect master. If I can fight with the Zhang family master and feel the sword momentum up close, will I be able to take the last step and completely condense the sword power? 39. Once the sword momentum is condensed, I dare to fight with the real people of the Jaden realm. As long as I can condense the sword power, I will definitely be able to knot the pill within 100 years, and I will have the opportunity to try to break through the divine mansion. Be sure to take this opportunity. Yi Qingyu clenched subconsciously, her eyes expectant. On the viewing platform, the girl who asked the Zhang family questions earlier blinked her eyes, stretched out her hand and shook it in front of the young man next to her, and asked innocently, this senior brother, quality. Aren't you the Zhang family nothing? Current. Didn't you say that the Zhang family knew that the Qingyan sword sect had held an inner gate competition in the past few days, and did not have time to pay attention to the trivial matters of the Qingchuan mansion, so they deliberately spread the news that they wanted to destroy the 3 sects, in order to establish prestige? Didn't you wait for the Qingyan sword sect to free up, and the Zhang family would immediately clip their tails and behave? Then why did he come over by himself? And I see that the sect master of your sect seems to attach great importance to the head of the Zhang family. Is this some kind of trick? God is so blind. On the viewing platform, the corners of many people's mouths twitched. Should this girl say that she is innocent or stupid? It's just murderous. Operator. The young man smiled awkwardly and hid his face. This face is considered to be lost, and it is better to go out on a mission to avoid the wind during this time. Everyone, welcome to watch my Qingyan Sword Sect's annual Intersect Disciple competition. This ranking tournament, as always, is divided into 10 groups to compete, and each group will determine a champion and participate in the final. The top 10 seeded players in the original inner gate will join each group to compete after 3 rounds of battle. Quote. The game is played by a disorderly draw rule. Well, without further ado, the ranking tournament has officially begun. 35. Under the auspices of the Great Elder, the Qingyan Sword Sect's inner gate Dabi officially began. Since Zhang Chushuan suddenly visited the worship sect to test the sword, every inner disciple came out with more courage than in the past. No one wants to embarrass the Qingyan sword sect. However, in the viewing seat, the spectators did not understand the past, did not pay attention to the whole Dabi in the field, but paid more attention to Zhang Chushuan. When they saw Yi Qingyu and Zhang Chushuan exchanging a few words from time to time, and then nodding thoughtfully, they couldn't help but have a few ears and could hear what they were talking about. Bell, bell, bell. As a bell rang, announcing the end of the Qingyan sword sect's inner gate Dabi. Yi Qingyu, as the sect master, stood up and said some scenes. At this time in the past, the people on the viewing platform were ready to leave, and then groups of 3 or 5 gathered together to discuss the dazzling performance of some disciples in Dabi 4.4. Among them, the best of them will immediately have a name that will circulate throughout Qingyan Mansion, and even in Lintang County. But today, everyone is sitting on their backs, looking like they have just raised their interest. Obviously, in front of the Zhang family sect to test the sword Qingyan sword sect, the inner gate Dabi is just a pediatric. Cough. Yi Qingyu also knows what everyone is expecting now. He himself couldn't wait, and asked Zhang Chushuan, Patriarch Zhang, I don't know how you want to test the sword with my Qingyan sword sect. 99. This is easy. Zhang Chushuan put down the teacup in his hand and smiled. I brought my 3 grandchildren over to meet the world. How about the 3 disciples of the Qingyan sword sect, pointing out one each? As an ancestor, Zhang Chushuan certainly can't do everything himself. What can be done by grandchildren, grandchildren do. What you can do with your son does. If he has time, will he give birth to a few more unfragrant? But hearing his words, Yi Qingyu was a little anxious. Disciples fighting. That's so boring. How about me and Patriarch Zhang fighting you? Zhang Chushuan, 22%. Chapter 86. The old fox is ready to make trouble again, targeting the daughter of the sect master of the Qingyan sword sect. Subscription required. Sect master, calm. Beside Yi Qingyu, Li Zijian, the great elder of the Qingyan sword sect, pulled him, his expression a little helpless. What this sect master of his own family is thinking, it is really easy to guess. Li Zijian was completely able to understand, and even his heart for Yi Qingyu to comprehend the sword power was no weaker than the latter. After all, Yi Qingyu is the sect master of the Qingyan sword sect, and he and the Qingyan sword sect are both damaged and prosperous. Once the Qingyan sword sect produced a sect master of the late stage of the transformation spirit realm who comprehended the sword power, then the 7-rank sect could be expected. Even if it faced the Lanyu Pavilion and the Yu Kingdom Imperial Hall, it could be much tougher. Because of this, it was clear that Zhang Chushuan was coming to worship the sect to test the sword, and Yi Qingyu still gave courtesy, and these elders did not feel inappropriate. Those are not important than real interests. But Yi Qingyu is also too anxious, and it is easy to be pinched. This Zhang Chushuan was famous in the whole country of Vietnam back then, and he was not a good person. Compete with me. A strange brilliance flashed in Zhang Chushuan's eyes, and he thought about it and said, your sect is all sword cultivators, so I won't beat around the bush when I speak. Sect Master Yi should know my purpose here, right? Of course. Yi Qingyu nodded and said simply, the Zhang family master came here to take back the right to speak in Qingchuan Mansion, but this point, forgive me for not being able to trade. Nanyang Prefecture is a special situation. It is a place of chess battles. There are 5 kingdoms, 5 sects and 2 groups to fight. All want to unify, so the relationship between the sect and the royal family has become a relationship of competition and cooperation. The sect cannot lack the royal family to manage the place, to form an army to fight, and the royal family cannot lack the high-end combat power of the sect to rely on. In Vietnam, if you want to say orthodoxy, it is naturally the Vietnamese royal family. In theory, the entire discourse power of Vietnam should belong to the royal family. But in fact, the protector sect and the royal family are mutually restrained, which makes the local government autonomous due to the struggle between the government and the sect. For example, now, the Qingyan sword sect is an 8-rank sect affiliated to Lanyu Pavilion, and is in charge of all affairs of Qingyan Mansion. Originally, Qingchuan Mansion was under the orders of the Yu Kingdom Imperial Hall, but 35 years ago, it was changed to the Qingyan sword sect to take charge of everything through the hands of the 3 sects of the Xingyu sect to obtain resources. Now in the territory of Qingchuan Mansion, the Zhang family has been born and has become an 8-rank sect of the same rank as the Qingyan sword sect, so according to everyone's default and spoken rules, you can compete for the management of Qingchuan Mansion. In this competition, Lanyu Pavilion and the Yu royal family will not interfere. This is a rule jointly promulgated by the major holy places of the Xuantian continent, and high-level sects cannot directly attack low-level sects for no reason. This unprovoked and direct is the point, circle up, to examine. In the territory of Vietnam, it is also because of the competition between the royal family and the Lanyu Pavilion. If the Zhang family can take back the rights from the Qingyan sword sect, they can also choose to join the Lanyu Pavilion, then the Qingchuan Mansion is still up to the Lanyu Pavilion. If the Zhang family chooses to join the Yu royal family, then the royal family will come forward to help block the pressure from the Lanyu Pavilion, and the Zhang family only needs to face other 8-rank forces. And the Qingyan sword sect is the strongest 8-rank sect in His Excellency Lan Yu. If Zhang Chushuan could take back the secret rule of Qingchuan Mansion from the Qingyan sword sect, there was no need to fear anyone anymore. But the interests of the Qingyan sword sect will be damaged. Yi Qingyu didn't want to exchange the benefits of the sect. Sect Master Yi misunderstood. Zhang Chushuan naturally understood what Yi Qingyu was thinking, and smiled. I mean, we can take a bet. Bet. Yi Qingyu was puzzled. That's right, bet. Zhang Chushuan's hidden fingers on his sleeve rubbed and said with a smile, 3 disciples of your sect fight against my 3 unsuccessful grandsons. 5. 2 wins in 3 games. 9. If our side wins, my Zhang family successfully tries the sword, and I don't need to say more about the result. If it's a draw, then it's up to me and Sect Master Yi to compete again. 9. If Guizhong wins, count my Zhang family losing in the sword test, and I will release the sword power with all my strength for an hour for Sect Master Yi to observe. How? A sly smile flashed in Zhang Chushuan's eyes. Yi Qingyu's breathing stagnated, incredulous. Seriously? Hiss. In fact, not only Yi Qingyu was excited, but even Li Zijian and other elders of the Qingyan sword sect jumped indisputably when they heard Zhang Chushuan's words. According to the rules and spoken rules, forces of the same rank can worship each other to test the sword, and the Zhang family, as the only 8-rank force in the new students of Qingchuan Mansion, is more qualified to come to the Qingyan sword sect to take back the power by testing the sword, and they cannot refuse. If the Zhang family succeeds in the sword test, the rights will be handed over to the Zhang family. The Zhang family failed to try the sword, and the power is still controlled by the Qingyan sword sect, and the Zhang family will be the younger brother unless they leave Qingchuan Mansion. If the battle is won, the Qingyan sword sect is no good. At most, there is one more powerful little brother within the scope of power. But once you lose, the loss is huge. But the Qingyan sword sect could not refuse. Unexpectedly, in this case, Zhang Chushuan actually promised to pay the price after losing. 55. Zhang Chushuan is a good man. Li Zijian sighed in his heart. He suspected that the rumors he had heard about Zhang Chushuan's bad character before were malicious slanderers from the other party's enemies. Such a high-spirited person, who pays so much attention to fairness, is the model of their Qingyan sword sect. It is Qingyu who has the heart of a villain, and the belly of your gentleman is the lord of the Zhang family. Yi Qingyu looked guilty and threw his hands at Zhang Chushuan. Sword cultivation, the most important state of mind cultivation. Sword cultivation. Go forward, most of them have justice in their hearts, and they will not break even if they are too rigid. Before the sword trial began, Yi Qingyu already felt that he owed Zhang Chushuan favors. Sect Master Yi is too famous. Zhang Chushuan waved his hand and said indifferently, if the sect master thinks it's okay, let's start. I also fight for Qingchuan Mansion, it doesn't matter if I lose. These words are called a high wind and bright festival, completely putting oneself on the righteousness of a house. Everyone always has special feelings for their homeland. Yi Qingyu listened, did not doubt the authenticity of Zhang Chushuan's words at all, and while recognizing this Zhang family patriarch more and more in his heart, he asked Li Zijian beside him, Grand Elder, what do you think? I think so. Li Zijian nodded and said, I wonder what the strength of Patriarch Zhang's 3 grandsons is. 35. The eldest grandson Zhang Yanmo, the middle stage of the Gathering Spirit Realm, the second grandson Zhang Yanbi, the early stage of the Gathering Spirit Realm, the third grandson Zhang Yanting, the early stage of the Gathering Spirit Realm. 35 Zhang Chushuan said without reservation. In the Time Secret Realm, everyone took the step of gathering spirits. Due to his stable strength, Zhang Yanren relied on the lower-grade Spirit Stone and the Gathering Spirit Formation, and even broke through to the middle stage of the Gathering Spirit Realm in one breath. So strong. Many people's eyes suddenly changed. Zhang Yanmo and the 3 look young, obviously still teenagers. In their opinion, it is already good to have the peak strength of the refining body realm, but they did not expect that they are all Gathering Spirit Realm cultivators. Zhang Yanmo is still in the middle of the Gathering Spirit Realm. Can you take the liberty of asking Ling Sun's age? Li Zijian asked politely. Age is no secret. Zhang Chushuan smiled indifferently and replied. Yan Mo is 18 years old, Yan Feng is 16 years old, and Yan Ting is 15 years old. They are not small. Hiss. Everyone at the scene gasped and contributed to global warming. This is a big Versailles scene. It must be known that the threshold for the Qingyan sword sect to recruit outer disciples is to break through the late stage of the refining body realm 7-fold to 9-fold before the age of 20. The late stage of the refining body realm includes 7-fold blood refining, 8-fold refining 6 organs, and 9-fold refining and 5 internal organs. This process, even if there is a combination of exercises, it takes 3 to 5 years to cooperate with enough lower grade or even medium grade quenching pill. There are adventurers or gifted people who can reduce this time to 1 year. But above the later stage of the refining body realm, there is also the peak of the refining body realm. The process of opening the 36 blood skills, if there are not enough resources and excellent exercises, the speed is slower than breaking through the first 9 layers of the refining body realm. The power of the 6th rank and above is rich, and the efficiency of cultivating descendants 010 is naturally high. Those who give birth to children as saints, are born to build foundations, and become adults to marry the Dan realm. It can be placed in the 8-rank force, and at the age of 20, he can break through the Gathering Spirit Realm. All of them are peerless geniuses, and even have the posture of becoming a heavenly arrogance. The Qingyan sword sect has existed for hundreds of years, and there has been a Yi Qingyu, and Yi Qingyu's daughter Yi Zihan, who has just become the number one in the inner gate as a dark horse, is 18 years old this year. For example, the inner disciples of the Qingyan sword sect, many of them are over 30 years old, and the strongest is only in the middle stage of the gathering spirit realm, and the core disciples need to have the strength of the late stage of the gathering spirit realm, and they are all over 30 years old. It seems that the heritage of the Zhang family is far deeper than we imagined. Countless people once again raised their attention to the Zhang family in their hearts. The Zhang family is really powerful, and there are many geniuses in the future generations. Li Zijian smiled and complimented, and then said, "Then in the first battle, how about choosing an early stage disciple of the gathering spirit realm from my sect's inner sect to fight?" The inner disciples of the Qingyan sword sect may also be at the peak of the refining body realm, but they have passed the assessment and are considered to be prepared for the gathering spirit realm cultivators. It is also appropriate to choose an early stage of the gathering spirit realm, the same realm as Zhang Yanting and Zhang Yangfeng. In the square below, disciples who had cultivated to the early stage of the gathering spirit realm immediately stood up straight and straightened their chests, hoping that they would be selected. Jian Shu is never afraid of battle. Every disciple of the Qingyan sword sect firmly believed that they could win. Then when the time comes, it will definitely be favored and rewarded by the elders of the sect. A junior disciple of the gathering spirit realm. Sweeping his gaze over the square below, Zhang Chushuan shook his head, stretched out his hand and pointed to the front direction of the inner sect disciples, and said, "On our side, my third grandson Yanting will fight. If you have an opponent, just this one." Everyone looked in the direction of Zhang Chushuan's finger and was stunned. They thought it was incredible. The person chosen by Zhang Chushuan was actually the new first of the inner gate, the daughter of the sect master of the Qingyan sword sect. Yi Zihan, 22%. Chapter 87. The special physique must be my granddaughter-in-law. Zhang Yanmo. I am familiar with this. Qingyan sword sect, on the square in front of the hall. Yi Zihan was wearing the costume of the inner disciple of the sword sect, a black strong suit with the Qingyan long sword printed on it, standing at the front of all the inner sect disciples. Yi Zihan looks unusually handsome. A pair of eyes are black and white, bright and bright. If a man dresses as a woman, I am afraid that it can fascinate countless nymphomaniac female cultivators. She held a long white sword, and white jade was the hilt, which was no different from the hand of the sword. In the Qingyan sword sect, it is Bai Fumei in the true sense. Not only Yi Qingyu, the sect master of the sword sect, can enjoy resources that ordinary people cannot enjoy, but also is a talent, only 18 years old this year, has broken through to the gathering spirit realm stage, compared to Zhang Yanmo. The most important point is that she, like her father, has comprehended the half-step sword power and is a well-deserved genius in kendo. It was by relying on her half-step sword strength and powerful sword moves that she was able to break through the siege in the inner sect disciple competition, and suppressed many senior brothers and sisters in the middle stage of the gathering spirit realm to become the first in the inner gate. During the inner gate competition, many disciples had already begun to call her Cold Moon Sword Fairy, just because she had been using a set of Zon rank ultimate sword techniques, the Cold Moon Sword method. If Zhang Chushuan didn't come, then today must be Yi Zihan's fame day. The good name of Cold Moon Sword Fairy will resound in Lintang County and even the entire Yu Kingdom in a few days. Yi Zihan's talent is stronger than his father's. Li Zijian just said that Zhang Chushuan arbitrarily selected a disciple who had cultivated in the early stage of the gathering spirit realm in the inner gate of the Qingyan sword sect to be Zhang Yanting's opponent, which can be regarded as a reciprocation for Zhang Chushuan's generosity, and it is also a demonstration of the Qingyan sword sect's dignity. But this gathering spirit realm pre-stage disciple did not include Yi Zihan. Yi Zihan can skip the level to fight, and it is naturally easy to win at the same level. The Zhang family doesn't reconsider. Yi Qingyu hesitated and asked. The baby daughter is a genius of kendo that he personally cultivated, and he knows how strong it is. Don't look at the inner gate qualifying match just now. Yi Zihan's last few performances were a little difficult, but it was she deliberately hiding, and some whole cards were not played at all. No, just choose this first disciple of the inner sect. Zhang Chushuan waved his hand, turned to Zhang Yanting and said, Yanting, you go down and talk to this Miss Yi. The point is over, but you have to win. 35. When Yi Zihan showed a half-step sword move, Zhang Chushuan felt that this female kendo talent was extraordinary, so he consumed a qualification card to appraise. The qualification identification card is naturally obtained from the Earth's hometown. It is a special item, and the effect is only to identify the physical qualifications of any warrior. Relying on a 100-fold reward ability, Zhang Chushuan has a full 100 tickets. As a result of the appraisal, Yi Zihan is really not simple. He actually has a delicate sword heart, is naturally suitable for kendo, and has a strong understanding of kendo. Such a talented girl made Zhang Chushuan think of Mo Xiaoxiao. No, I have to get it back to be a granddaughter-in-law. Hearing Zhang Chushuan's words, Zhang Yanting seemed a little reluctant, scratched his head and said, "Grandpa, can you let the second brother go on? I don't like to bully women." Zhang Chushuan, how did he not know that his grandson was so good at talking? Didn't you notice that as soon as your words came out, the expressions of everyone around changed? I don't want it either. 99. Without waiting for Zhang Chushuan to answer, Zhang Yangfeng immediately replied, "I don't like to bully women either." 35. Zhang Chushuan was speechless. Listen, what a man's remark this is. Bullying women. Who told you that this is bullying women? I obviously asked you to pretend to be in front of other women, leave a deep impression, so as to lay a solid foundation for chasing girls behind. Why can't you two see through this matter? Zhang Chushuan felt that the blood was a little high. How are these grandchildren not at all like him in terms of pickling girls? Do you look down on women? Down, I'm going to duel with you. 35. At this time, a woman's angry voice suddenly came from the square. It was naturally Yi Zihan who spoke. Although the VIP seats of the Gathering Spirit Realm in the square were a long way, as a cultivator of the Gathering Spirit Realm, Yi Zihan could still clearly hear what Zhang Yanting and Zhang Yangfeng said. I don't look down on women, how can you wrong? Zhang Yanting shouted to Yi Zihan from afar. My mother is also a woman, how can I look down on women? I just look down on you. Zhang Chushuan, very good, this reverse son is not saved. His delicate sword heart is gone. You bastard. Yi Zihan's face turned red from anger. Growing up so big, she had never been so humiliated. It's good that she remembers this man. Well, I didn't mean that. Quote. Although Zhang Yanting's emotional intelligence was a little anxious, but fortunately, his IQ was not low, and when he saw Yi Zihan's face turn blue and white for a while, he immediately realized that what he said was wrong, and quickly changed his words. If it is a strong woman, I am happy to compete with her and improve each other. But you are not my opponent at all. If I know this and fight you, isn't it deliberately bullying you? You say yes. Zhang Yanting had an expression of, I am completely thinking about you, and his tone was also very normal. But what he said made Yi Zihan so angry that one Buddha was born and two Buddhas ascended to heaven. What does it mean that I am not your opponent at all? What is it that you know that I can't beat you, and you are bullying me when you try me again? Everyone is an early stage cultivator of the Gathering Spirit Realm. Everyone is backed by the 8-rank power. I still rely on the 8-rank top power. My father is the Lord of the Power, and I have also comprehended the half-step sword power. Why do you say that I can't beat you? Why do you look down on people? Yi Zihan pulled out his sword and pointed at Zhang Yanting, his chest heaving, obviously angry. Of course I saw it. Zhang Yanting frowned and explained, I watched the whole time of your inner disciple qualifying competition. 5. I can see that you actually have whole cards that are useless. 39. But you really are not my opponent. Zhang Yanting said very seriously, because this is the truth. Under normal circumstances, Yi Zihan would definitely be cautious, because Zhang Yanting could see that she was hiding the whole card. But she is completely angry now. She can't think about things calmly, and she said in a huff, there is no basis for saying it, there is a kind of you come down and fight me. If you don't dare me to fight, it can only mean that you instigated. You're afraid. You're not a man. Nonsense. 35. Zhang Yanting's expression suddenly became serious and said, Grandpa said that my Zhang family does not have a single race, and the children are not worthy of being the Zhang family. 95. HMPH. Since you are looking for abuse, I will fulfill you. When the words fell, Zhang Yanting used force on his feet, jumped straight to a high platform, and then hooked his hand at Yi Zihan. Come on. I can't ask for it. Yi Zihan did not slack off and came to the high platform with his own skills. For a time, the two fought against each other. Only at this time did the surrounding crowd react from the series of things just now, speechless for a while. Are these two so sloppy? In other words, is the third generation of the Zhang family's little young master arrogant, or is he fearless? Looking at the way he speaks, it doesn't look like he is purposeless. But Yi Zihan's strength, Just now everyone has seen, Zhang Yanting's realm is the same as her, and the martial arts he has learned may not be weak, but how to make up for the gap caused by the half-step sword force. For a while, everyone was interested. This first battle is interesting. Sect Master Yi, Grand Elder Li, it seems that we don't need to choose again. 35 Zhang Chushuan smiled from Yi Qingyu and Li Zijian. Although the process was a bit tortuous, the result was not bad. And there was such a bickering just now, and when Zhang Yanting won the competition, it left a greater imprint on Yi Zihan's heart. Hey, could it be that Yan Ting is actually a master? Zhang Chushuan thought secretly as he stood at an LSP angle. It seems that this is the only way to go. Yi Qingyu and Li Zijian looked at each other, and the latter came to the test table with his identity, and said lightly, then the first battle will be fought by you, and the point will stop. Of course, with the old man watching, you don't have to tie your hands. 99. Yes, Great Elder. Yi Zihan held his sword and nodded to Li Zijian. Zhang Yanting nodded. Don't worry, Grandpa, I will try to collect a little and try not to hurt her. Li Zijian, Yi Zihan, all of them. Zhang Chushuan. This reverse sun is really a batch factory. 22%. Chapter 88. The first place of the angry dead, the knife force is amazing. 20,000 tales of flowers plus more. Nanyangzhou, Lintang County, Qingyan Province, Qingyan Mountain Range. Qingyan Sword Sect, on the competition platform in front of the main hall of the sect. Yi Zihan and Zhang Yanting stood face to face, 50 steps apart, and neither made a move. Few tilde operator. Yi Zihan took a deep breath, not carried away by anger, but forced to calm down and observed Zhang Yanting's every move. Although what Zhang Yanting said was very confusing and looked down on people, it undoubtedly revealed his confidence in his own strength. Moreover, Zhang Chushuan is a great cultivator of the transformation spirit realm, and he also comprehends the sword power, and his eyesight will not be bad. He let his grandson challenge himself, not to lose face, right? Yi Zihan sank his heart, looking for flaws in Zhang Yanting's body. But at this time, Zhang Yanting suddenly took out a bottle of elixir and gestured to Yi Zihan. I have a yellow rank lower grade pill herb here to return the pill, you can eat one to restore your physical strength and aura. What? Yi Zihan was stunned again. What the hell is this Zhang Yanting doing? Is what I'm saying hard to understand? Zhang Yanting scratched his head, raised the medicine and signaled. You participated in the inner gate competition for a day, your physical strength and spiritual power have been lost, you can recover to the peak with grass and pill, and when you recover, I will fight you again. Yi Zihan understood Zhang Yanting's meaning, and suddenly a black line turned into a black line, and said coldly, no need. 35 Zhang Yanting shook his head and said solemnly, what if you use this as an excuse to refuse to admit defeat after you lose? Zhang Chushuan, it's okay, it's really hammered, on talking angry people, this grandson is definitely 013th. The eyes of many people watching the battle around were red, even some Qingyan Sword Sect disciples. As a top sect of the 8 ranks, the Qingyan Sword Sect can even take out some Zan rank, and the yellow rank pill is not uncommon. Just because it's not rare doesn't mean it's not scarce. After all, the yellow rank is not a major road, and it is not readily available within the Qingyan Sword Sect. Whether it is an outer or inner disciple, if you want to obtain elixir, you need merit, and to achieve merit, you need to perform tasks. Most people still have to rely on their own hard work, and they have a direction of effort and various preferential treatment compared to the place where they are scattered. But the yellow order pill is very precious to them. So seeing Zhang Yanting take a bottle casually, and like sharing jelly beans, he wanted to share one with Yi Zihan, and the purpose was only to recover his physical strength. It's all sour. This is also too trench, right? What kind of immortal family is the Zhang family? You still look down on me. Yi Zihan is not at all the same thing as what others pay attention to. Zhang Yanting's sincere words made the little girl feel unprecedented contempt, and her eyes immediately turned red. She was completely furious, and no longer considered the issue of strategy, took the initiative to attack, raised her hand and swung a sword. A sword aura suddenly merged into the ground. For a time, the entire competition venue rose with a strange momentum, and the aura swept out. Snap, snap. In an instant, the entire venue seemed to turn into a sea area, and the infinite momentum continued to press against Zhang Yanting, causing his gray and white robes to flutter, and the hem of his clothes to hunt. From a distance, Zhang Yanting looked like a flat boat in the midst of the stormy seas on a rainstormy day. Why did you do it? Zhang Yanting frowned slightly, took back the medicine, and then took out a knife and waved it gently. In an instant, the aura storm on the competition platform was easily cut in half. The entire competition platform seems to be divided into two pieces at this moment. Yi Zihan's side is still turbulent, but Zhang Yanting's side is like an ancient well, which is a sharp contrast. Compared to the huge competition platform, the two humans are so small. But now, when the momentum of the two of them rises, the competition platform immediately gives people the feeling that the fish tank is not enough for goldfish, as if it will collapse in the next second. And all this is only because of Zhang Yanting's random stab. Senior sister Yi Zihan's sword is so strong. This young master of the Zhang family is not weak, he can inspire a sword with a random sword, and his comprehension is also very deep. 35. The surrounding disciples watching the battle immediately began to talk. Among them, Pei Chong, the second in the inner gate of the Qingyun sword sect, looked at the situation in the field, and said with a solemn expression, Senior Sister Yi's sword is very powerful, although it is not mixed with a half-step sword momentum, but the sword move itself contains the momentum of mountains and rivers, which will faintly give people the illusion of fighting against the entire heaven and earth. Is it so powerful? Beside Pei Chong, Wu Jingxi, ranked third, showed an unexpected expression. In the inner disciple qualifying competition, Wu Jingxi did not fight Yi Zihan, so he had no actual understanding. Of course it is, otherwise I wouldn't have lost so simply in the final. This trick must be taught by the master. In fact, it is blinding and visual oppression, but under the pressure of spiritual power, it is difficult to distinguish it, and it will be affected invisibly. 99. Junior sister Yi masters the half-step sword force, and after using it together, it will make this simple illusion more than a real way, forming spiritual oppression. The same realm wants to fight against it, unless it also touches the potential. Pei Chong was obviously convinced by Yi Qingyu, and there was a lot of admiration between his words. A sword laughs at the sea. On the competition platform, Yi Zihan drank like thunder, holding a long sword in his right hand, and slashed out in a special posture. In an instant, the spiritual energy of this area surged, giving people the feeling of seeing the sea stormy waves rise again, overwhelming towards Zhang Yanting. The calm aura that Zhang Yanting had stabilized with a knife earlier was suddenly broken. The carrier of the fierce sword swept away with breaking waves. The sword chi erupted, and the faces of many inner sect disciples who were close to the stabbing hurt. This trick looks very strong. But Zhang Yanting's expression did not change in the slightest when facing this sword, raised his hand, and slashed out at will again. Prick. In the air, a sharp and shiny knife chi formed, wrapped in a blade on the surface, flashing on the competition platform. Yi Zihan's sword move suddenly quieted down like a cat being pinched by the neck. Junior sister Yi's sword move was cut off. Shish, this young master Zhang is a bit level. 35. But junior sister Yi hasn't used a half-step sword force yet, so there should still be a chance. But didn't you find that the young master of the Zhang family coped with it very easily? This is a duel between the early-stage cultivators of the gathering spirit realm. Many exclaimed. At the VIP seat, Yi Qingyu of the Qingyun sword sect frowned slightly, and said with some uncertainty, there is a sense of oppressive tearing. Quote. Zhang Yanting actually has the ability to cut off Zihan's powerful sword moves with one sword, and his mastery of the sword has definitely penetrated to a certain realm. I'm afraid he is about to touch the sword momentum, right? For some reason, Yi Qingyu had a hunch that Zhang Yanting would give him a surprise, and it was also a shock. Could it be that the second son comprehended the half-step sword force? Yi Qingyu was not only frightened by her own guess. Zhang Yanting is 3 years younger than Yi Zihan, and if he really comprehends the half-step sword force, it can be said that he is a natural swordsman. And Zhang Chushuan comprehended the real sword power, and may not be able to cultivate his grandson to this extent. Thinking of this, Yi Qingyu looked at Zhang Chushuan, trying to see something from his face. But Zhang Chushuan always has a smiling expression that is unfathomable. At this time, on the test stand, Yi Zihan's expression when he looked at Zhang Yanting became extremely solemn. It is good to say that she is angry. It is just to look at Zhang Yanting highly. Although she has just made a move, she has already used a powerful blow in the case of a half-step sword force. But such a blow was so unbearable in front of Zhang Yanting. Zhang Yanting must be the one who brought her the most pressure among the cultivators of the same realm since she comprehended the half-step sword power. Then I'll use my sword first, and then make a trick. Cold moon into the sea. Yi Zihan's footsteps clicked, and the whole person soared into the air like a flying swallow leaving the nest, holding a long sword and flying towards Zhang Yanting. The aura gathers, the sword chi is formed, the sword shines, and it is completed in one go. But this is not enough. Yi Zihan's heart froze, and a mysterious momentum rose up in his body, and the whole person looked like a sheathed sword at this moment. The half-step sword momentum is all integrated into the sword move. For a time, the sword chi on the entire competition platform was full of energy, completely blocking the space around Zhang Yanting. Zhang Yanting held a long knife, felt the spiritual energy surging around him, and the countless sword chi shot out, which actually transformed into the artistic conception of the cold moon falling into the sea. The cold moon fell, the sea froze, and with a half-step sword force, it was full of power. It's pretty awesome, Zhang Yanting commented and twisted his neck. I seem to have fallen into a misunderstanding. In fact, as long as one move can solve you, you naturally know that what I said before is true. So, Zhang Yanting's eyes froze, and his body had a mysterious momentum, like a long knife standing up. At a certain moment, he suddenly raised the long knife in his hand and slashed it out. Boom. In an instant, a large knife was formed on the competition platform that was all condensed by sword chi. The big knife stood in the air, as if it was going to take part of the entire high platform. Poof. One after another, sword chi appeared from Zhang Yanting's body and soared into the sky. Many people with knives at the scene noticed that the knives in their hands seemed to tremble. On the VIP seat, Yi Qingyu stood up abruptly and said in a gaffe, It's actually a knife force. 35. How is that possible? 22%. Chapter 89 is not compared. The showdown is over. My grandchildren will all sword. Subscription required. How is that possible? Yi Qingyu clasped her hands, unable to believe her perception. Zhang Chushuan does not open the concentric skill of the whole clan. He is now the person with the highest cultivation realm, and he also comprehends the half-step sword force, and has an extremely keen perception of the potential. He clearly felt that Zhang Yanting controlled the power that she was not as good as her. That could only be a complete comprehension of the complete sword power. But how is this possible? 15 years old, in the early stage of the gathering spirit realm, comprehension, sword strength. Sect Master, what's wrong? Li Zijian saw Yi Qingyu's sudden gaffe, and hurriedly asked. There were so many outsiders watching the scene, and the majesty of the sect master could not be lost. Patriarch Zhang. Yi Qingyu ignored Li Zijian, but looked at Zhang Chushuan with some strange expectation in his eyes. This kid, it's really humble. Zhang Chushuan was a little speechless about his grandson's commotion. Could it be that the hanging that they opened for them was too big? But if you can crush the things you can get done, don't waste time. Yes, the next two competitions are estimated to be saved. The corners of Zhang Chushuan's mouth curled up, and he said lightly, Sect Master Yi will know, just look at it. He knew that Yi Qingyu was asking himself for a quasi-letter. It's not necessary though, because the next moment, everyone will know. Cold moon chasing light. Yi Zihan felt that he was suppressed by Zhang Yanting, his complexion changed suddenly, the spiritual energy in his body surged, and all the half-step sword momentum was mobilized, and at the same time, he used the strongest sword move. Xuanji ultimate sword move, cold moon chasing light. Oh. In an instant, the sword light shone out, scattered out under the impetus of the sword chi, and enveloped the entire incomparable platform, some of which rubbed against the surface of the platform, causing the platform built of special rare metals to crumble inch by inch. This scene stimulated Pei Chong and others. It is important to know that the metal from which the platform is built is a rare gold ore of the yellow rank, which is known for its high hardness. I didn't expect Yi Zihan to be injured by shooting with all his might. This means that Yi Zihan's combat strength is already comparable to many core disciples. Immediately after, everyone looked at Zhang Yanting, wondering how he would deal with it. But the next moment, they saw a scene they will never forget. Spark blazing. Facing the sword chi in the sky, Zhang Yanting was not afraid, holding the handle of the sword with both hands, and his footsteps flew up little by little, making the long knife and the huge sword chi merge into one. The huge knife chi immediately burned into flames. It was also at this time that Zhang Yanting no longer kept his hand, and the knife on his body gushed out. Gong. Boom. The disciples of the Qingyun sword sect are all practicing swords, but many of the scattered cultivators and family disciples who came to watch the ceremony today are all armed with sabers, and among them, there is also a 9-rank superior sect overlord Sword Valley, and the whole sect is full of sabers. At this moment, these swords around their waists trembled in unison, emitting a knife sound. These knife sounds came out forming a strange general trend that converged into Zhang Yanting to condense a huge sword qi, and the flame on the surface of the huge knife qi was even more vigorous, with a blazing temperature, straight towards Yi Zihan, who was in midair not far away. Prick. The air is burned as if space is distorting. The sword qi fell, and the sword qi in the sky was easily destroyed, and if the raging fire swallowed the stars and rain, it rose brilliantly. Boom. The sword qi fell, and the destruction and decay advanced to Yi Zihan's body, suppressed the half-step sword momentum on his body, and then pressed himself to the competition platform, and continued to cut down. Yi Zihan sat on the ground with a pale face, watching in a daze as he got closer and closer to the Dao Qi gathering spirit realm, without the slightest movement, obviously frightened and stupid. However, the knife qi stopped 3 inches away from Yi Zihan's forehead, and after waiting for 3 breaths, it naturally idled, turning into a sky full of Mars, beautiful. Only then did everyone come to their senses. Hair. What happened? I'm not hallucinating, am I? Junior sister Yi was actually defeated by a sword. 35. Hey, is this a battle between geniuses? I can't exert such strength in the later stage of the gathering spirit realm. Quote. It's too strong. I can't beat Yi Zihan. What kind of strength is this little young master of the Zhang family? If I didn't recognize it, the little young master of the Zhang family seems to have used a knife force just now. Dao force? What are you kidding? The little master of the Zhang family is only 15 years old, and he has only gathered in the early stage of the spirit realm. How can he comprehend the Dao force? 35. That is to say, you are a person with a brain disease, gathering spiritual realm cultivation, can master the sword as already a genius figure, can comprehend the half-step sword force as a peerless genius. How can you comprehend the sword force? Are you blind? Brother, the person who said this is the sect master of the Overlord Dao Valley. What about the sect master of the Tyrant Dao Valley? Wouldn't the sect master of the Overlord Dao Valley say the wrong thing? Ba Dao Valley A, Tyrant Dao Valley. The man who spoke was suddenly embarrassed. To say that the overbearing valley is not very strong now, a 9-rank superior sect, it shows that this sect does not even have a peak cultivator of the gathering spirit realm, but Qingyan Mansion has a lot of 8-rank forces. The problem Ba Dao Valley used to be a top force of the 8 products, and its founding ancestor Ba Dao Old Man was only 1 step away from the Jaden realm, and he successfully comprehended the sword force. If it hadn't been besieged by the remnants of the Earth Flame sect when he was about to break through the Jaden realm, he would probably have taken the Overlord Dao Valley to become a 7-rank sect. Of course, these are not important now. The point is that the current valley master of the Ba Dao Valley is the little disciple of the old man of the Ba Dao back then, not to mention the perfection of the sword, and he has seen the sword power with his own eyes back then. Except for Yi Qingyu, he has the most say now. That must be a knife force. 35. Uyangda, the sect master of the Overlord Dao Valley, was too lazy to pay attention to the person who spoke, and his burning gaze kept on Zhang Yanting, and he said excitedly, I am already on the verge of entering the half-step sword force. If I break through the transformation spirit realm, I will definitely be able to master the half-step sword force. I can be sure that the half-step knife force is not so powerful, and it is even far behind. This feeling, which I felt in the old man of the master and his old man, must be undoubtedly a sword force. 35. And just now I had a saber on my waist, and many swordsmen with sabers on their waists made a knife sound. This is a knife boost, absolutely can't be wrong. There has always been a kind of speech circulating in the Xuantian continent. Power is king, meaning respect. It means that the warrior masters a power and can be the king in the same type. In the face of the sword, 10,000 knives roared together, congratulations to the king. In the face of the sword intent, 10,000 swords surrender and worship for his holiness. Uyangda was sure that Zhang Yanting had mastered the sword force. Although this sounds like such an incredible thing. What Lord Uyang said is good. Just now my saber also made a knife sound. What a terrible knife momentum. Just now I was shocked by the saber to the point that my thighs were numb. If a swordsman encounters young Master Zhang, he will inevitably suffer a blood loss, and the sword moves integrated into the sword force are too strong, and the sword is not controlled. There was a burst of chatter in the crowd. Everyone was expressing the shock in their hearts. Everyone looked at Zhang Yanting's gaze, as if they were looking at a rising young Tianzhao. Being able to reach the early stage of the gathering spirit realm at the age of 15, and still comprehending the sword power in this realm, this is like a Dao Tianzhao. Even if it is placed in the legendary sect Holy Land, it will definitely not be weak. What a knife force. I actually mastered the sword force. Yi Qingyu also understood what Zhang Chushuan meant at this time. It turned out that Zhang Yanting did not intend to hide the knife force at all. 0 asking for flowers. But this does not mean that Zhang Yanting is stupid. When he saw it, he was very humble, but definitely not stupid. Wantonly showing his sword strength can only show that he has a stronger whole card. I have to say that Yi Qingyu, the sect master, is not stupid and his analysis is also very thorough. Zhang Yanting does have whole cards. This whole card is none other than his ancestor Zhang Chushuan. Just showing the sword power surprised these people to look like this. If I add sword intent to all the staff, won't I want to stab the sky? Zhang Chushuan was calm on the surface, but he couldn't help but feel a little screaming in his heart. Everyone in the Zhang family has indeed only comprehended the sword force now, and it is 90% of the sword force. Not kidding, Zhang Yanting can fight with some transformation spirit realm elders of the Qingyan sword sect, and there is a great chance that he can win. Genius, can leapfrog and fight. Tianzhao, can cross the border to fight. But this is not the limit of the Zhang family. A few days ago, Zhang Chushuan exchanged the soul-fixing pill from the hands of the nymphomaniac fellow and became the soul essence pill under the Zan rank after a 100-fold increase. Relying on the soul-containing pill, Wu Yanxi's soul power has recovered to the peak level of the transformation spirit realm, and with Zhang Yanting's body, he can burst out the combat power of the Jaden realm. The knife intent also revived a little. 0. And this trace also became Zhang Chushuan's. If he wishes, all members can comprehend the sword intent. Tianzhao, the Zhang family does not accept such an insult. Are you all right? Do you need me to help you up? On the competition platform, Zhang Yanting walked to Yi Zihan and asked out loud. Yi Zihan heard the voice that made him annoying, and finally came to his senses. However, this time, she was not angry again, but seriously looked at Zhang Yanting's heroic and resolute face, and rolled her eyes slightly charmingly. At this time, shouldn't you directly reach out to me? I see that you are very strong, who knows if you like it or not. 35 Zhang Yanting scratched his head, and then stretched out a hand. Very good, emotional intelligence is not low yet. Zhang Chushuan nodded secretly in his heart. Children can be taught. I was angry just now, not because of what you said. 39. Yi Zihan grabbed Zhang Yanting's outstretched hand, blushed slightly, and argued in a low voice. I'm telling the truth, you can't even stop me. Zhang Yanting defended in a low voice. But it's better not to justify. The corner of Yi Zihan's eyes twitched slightly, wanting to be angry but unable to get angry. But people are really strong. Zhang Chushuan. Very good, this grandson is not saved, give up. Cough. Zhang Chushuan coughed lightly and said to Yi Qingyu next to him, Sect Master Yi, in the next 2 competitions, I will forget it. Yi Qingyu was still immersed in Zhang Yanting's genius, and he was old enough to live to the dog, and he actually did not master the sword power. Suddenly hearing Zhang Chushuan's words, he didn't react for a while. However, Grand Elder Li Zijian reacted and said unhappily, Patriarch Zhang, what do you mean by this? Although the Zhang family has produced a true dragon, there are such generity-level descendants as Zhang Yanting. But how can the other 2 competitions be counted? It's a big deal that their Qingyan sword sect uses core disciples. A few of the core disciples are still the elders, and they are only 1 step away from breaking through the spirit realm. Will they also lose? Wouldn't Zhang Yangfeng and Zhang Yanmo also comprehend the sword force? It's really unnecessary. Zhang Chushuan seemed to be able to see through what Li Zijian was thinking, and said lightly, Yan Mo, Yan Feng, / This game is not interesting, no comparison. Showdown, my grandchildren will all sword. River. 23%. Chapter 90. Zhang Chushuan can have any bad intentions, it's just hungry people's sword intent subscription. In front of the Qingyan sword sect, the competition was on a high platform. Yi Zihan's eyes were as bright as stars, and there was no hostility in his gaze when he looked at Zhang Yanting, but there was a little more adoration. Your last knife before was wonderful, I didn't expect the knife to be so strong. 35. Half a step, my sword force is almost the same as a half hanger. Defeated by Zhang Yanting, Yi Zihan was happy and convinced, and the previous unpleasantness had been left behind and forgotten. Xuantian continent, strength first, talent second. In the face of both, nothing else matters. Actually, you are also very strong. Zhang Yanting has never been looked at by such a good-looking person as Yi Zihan, and was a little embarrassed for a while, and blushed slightly. Your half-step sword strength is also very powerful. If it becomes a sword force by 1 point, maybe it can make me more serious. Yi Zihan, good fellow, if it weren't for your shy expression, I really wouldn't have heard you approving of me. Surely this is not a show-off. Looks like I'm going to work harder. A flash of determination flashed in Yi Zihan's eyes. This battle made her realize that in the face of absolute strength, the bells and whistles of martial arts were of no use at all. The half-step sword momentum is still a bit flashy, no more than the real sword, 013, potential. Zhang Yanting, you should be the most genius disciple of your family, right? Yi Zihan said half helplessly, half expectantly. In her mind, this must be Zhang Chushuan's taboo horse racing strategy in order to win the sword test. But she didn't understand that the Tianji horse race was a low-class loss, and then the upper class won the middle, and the middle class won the second. If Zhang Yanting was the most genius and strongest disciple of the Zhang family, wouldn't the situation be spared? After all, Yi Zihan still has many core disciples on her head, and a very few have even touched the transformation spirit realm. The strongest, 35. Don't lift me up. When Zhang Yanting heard Yi Zihan's words, he quickly shook his head and denied it. I have 2 older brothers, an older sister and a younger sister. The eldest brother and sister are much stronger than me. The second brother is a little stronger than me. Maybe only the younger sister is not as good as me, but it is not much worse. 35. The Zhang family all cultivates in the secret realm. They all eat the meat of fierce beasts, practice dragon duels, consort strength, etc. To say the gap, there may only be a little time difference brought by age. Zhang Yanting was telling the truth. But it was obvious that Yi Zihan did not believe it. Zhang Yanmo and Zhang Yangfeng's realm cultivation, she also heard it just now, and she thought that the sister and sister were similar. It is stronger than Zhang Yanting, who has comprehended the sword force, so at least he must comprehend the sword force. Could it be that the 3 generations of the Zhang family have comprehended the sword force? This kind of thing depends on talent. All rely on your own comprehension, and it can't be mass-produced, nor can it be passed on in the bloodline, let alone I will teach you later. The only way to cheat is when a knife player with a knife power releases a knife force for people to observe. But if you don't have enough talent, you can't get started in a lifetime. This is the talent gap. Yi Zihan didn't believe it anyway, feeling that Zhang Yanting was giving face to his brothers and sisters. The same thought also appeared in Yi Qingyu's mind when he came to his senses. Patriarch Zhang said and laughed, could it be that your other 2 grandsons have also mastered the sword? Since Zhang Yanting has mastered the sword power and is from the 8-rank family, he must have also mastered the Xuanji exercises and martial arts, and he has a certain temperament. Not to mention fighting beyond the ranks, invincible at the same level can definitely do it. At least Yi Qingyu knew that the Qingyan sword sect could not come up with a disciple who could confront Zhang Yanting. But the 3 competitions are not all compared with Zhang Yanting. Although Zhang Yanmo and Zhang Yangfeng are also geniuses, it is impossible to master the sword power too, right? Yanmo, Yanfeng, / a knife. Zhang Chushuan did not answer, and directly asked Zhang Yanmo and Zhang Yangfeng to prove it with actions. Yes, Grandpa. Zhang Yanmo and Zhang Yangfeng came out in unison and said yes. The 2 jumped left and right to a high platform, and at the same time took out a long knife, their eyes condensed, and they split out. For a time, the wind and clouds on Qingyan Peak changed, and the infinite spiritual energy converged to form a sword qi, and a clearly visible sword light appeared on the sword qi, with an invincible momentum. Boom! The roar exploded in everyone's ears, and all the swordsmen heard the sound of knives again, and this time more violently than before, even some people around heard it. The supreme knife rose up. Zhang Yanmo and Zhang Yangfeng were like a peerless knife out of its sheath at this moment, and their bodies bloomed with a power that could split even mountains and seas. Boom! The knife chi fell like cutting tofu, cutting the metal competition high platform into 2 sides, neatly and consistently, unstoppable. After doing all this, Zhang Yanmo and Zhang Yangfeng withdrew their long knives and fluttered down to Zhang Chu's side with a relaxed expression. Shish! Only at this time did the people on Qingyan Peak gradually come back to their senses, and their eyes widened one by one as if they had seen a ghost general. No, this thing is more incredible than seeing a ghost. According to the head of the Zhang family, his 3 grandsons are 18, 16, and 15 years old. The strength is the middle stage of the gathering spirit realm, the early stage of the gathering spirit realm, and the early stage. In terms of strength alone, they are geniuses. It is the kind of genius that the lower 3rd rank sect will desire to have, the middle 3rd rank sect will treat and cultivate well, and even hope to join the upper 3rd rank Holy Land sect. As a result, Zhang Yanting actually mastered the sword force. That's amazing. Geniuses directly cross the level of peerless geniuses and become a genius existence. This kind of genius, if one appears at random, can take the next 3 product force ZTE. As long as there is enough time, it is expected to become a third rank force. Placed in the middle and third product forces, it must also be cultivated as a core and successor. Among the forces of the upper 3 ranks, the Holy Land Holy Woman is completely out of reach, but it definitely has the potential to be cultivated into a mainstay. And now, this kind of Tianzhao, 3 appeared at once. The Zhang family is going to fly. And don't forget, Zhang Chushuan himself understood the knife power. Zhang Chushuan has 4 sons and 3 grandchildren. It doesn't make sense that he mastered the knife force himself. 3 grandsons mastered the knife force, but the 4 sons were waste, right? This is simply a family of sword demons. Sect Master Yi, how? Zhang Chushuan swept Yi Qingyu and smiled. Is there a genius disciple of the nobles who want to compete with my 2 unborn grandsons? Not a tool. Good one is not a tool. We also want to have such unborn offspring. Many elders at the scene glared at their juniors fiercely with eyes that hated iron but not steel, which made these juniors very worried in their hearts. It's like we're not arguing. It's clear that your genes are not strong enough. Patriarch Zhang said and laughed. Yi Qingyu smiled and shook his head. This smile is full of bitterness 0. But whenever there is a point of victory or defeat in the competition, he will let the disciples under the sect try it, just to save the strength of the Qingyan sword sect. But just now, Zhang Yanmo and Zhang Yangfeng made a move, but they were still more amazing than Zhang Yanting. Because the 2 of them shot, they did not use their own aura, but only used the knife force to trigger the knife chi blade to cut out a knife, but they were able to cut off the 2 test tables neatly. This control and power incomparably shows that the 2 of them have not only mastered the sword force, but have already gained considerable popularity. With such a sword force, if it is combined with aura and knife technique, the core disciples of the Qingyan sword sect, one of them is counted as 1, and all of them will not be opponents. You can't send an elder of the transformation spirit realm out to be hostile, right? Seeming to see through Yi Qingyu's thoughts, the corners of Zhang Chushuan's mouth were slightly upturned, and he said, do you want my few unformed sons to fight with Elder Guizhong? Don't. Yi Qingyu hadn't spoken yet, and the elders Li Zijian and others next to him hurriedly refused, not even feeling embarrassed at all. What's there to be ashamed of? The old man of the Zhang family is unfathomable, the 3 grandsons are all demons, and those 4 sons are at least not bad. It is very likely that they are all great cultivators of the transformation spirit realm, and it is very likely that they also master the sword power. That destroying them is also a sword. Patriarch Zhang, this sword test is my Qingyan sword sect lost. 35. Afraid that Zhang Chushuan would say something to fight him, Yi Qingyu decisively admitted defeat. If Yi Zihan and Zhang Yanting fought before, he would be happy to fight Zhang Chushuan and feel the power of the knife for himself. But now, he found that the half-step sword stance can be said to be a half-hanging sword stance. How easy it is for a person who has not comprehended a half-step sword force, and it is even easier for a person who has mastered a sword force to fight a person who has a sword force. Or don't look for abuse. Then my Zhang family will be disrespectful. 99. Zhang Chushuan smiled. This attitude of Qingyan sword sect means that Qingchuan Mansion will have his Zhang family in the future. Qingyan sword sect, willing to gamble and lose. Yi Qingyu smiled bitterly. The Zhang family is a monster family, not to mention that the Qingyan sword sect may not be its opponent now, even if it can be overpowered in front of it, the other party is afraid that it will not take 4.4 long to become a 7-rank family. Even if it takes a long time, it may be able to become a 6-pin family. There are only 2 words for the reason. Knife force. These 2 are enough to say a lot. Qingyan sword sect bows its head, no shame. Okay then. Zhang Chushuan nodded with satisfaction, and then said, then I'll talk about the second thing about coming to the Qingyan sword sect this time. Quote. Patriarch Zhang has a second thing. Yi Qingyu said unexpectedly. Good. Zhang Chushuan nodded and said in a positive tone. Before coming, I heard that sect master Yi Qianjin Bingshe is clever, extremely talented, and beautiful and wise. And my grandson is also very talented, good-looking, whatever I want. Quote, quote. Look, or shall we be in-laws? The grandson is not angry, he can only be the grandfather's personal horse. Yi Zihan has a delicate sword heart, and the future comprehension of sword intent is a natural success, and the opportunity is enough to comprehend the realm, and even the law of comprehension is possible. This has to be the Zhang family. When the time comes, wouldn't it be Mizizi? Hearing Zhang Chushuan's words, everyone at the scene was stunned. Yi Qingyu's mood was a little complicated for a while. This Zhang Chushuan I actually want to be a pro-family father. 23%. Chapter 91 Roar. As the grandfather of the protagonist of Luck, I want to make my grandson the villain. Subscription required. No, it's impossible. Just kidding, there's such a good thing. Yi Qingyu looked at Zhang Chushuan with an incredible look. What Zhang Chushuan said before, what he heard before he came to her daughter Bingshe is smart, extremely talented, and extraordinarily wise, etc., he didn't believe a word. Indeed, Yi Zihan can be related to these words. Breaking through the early stage of the gathering spirit realm at the age of 18 and comprehending the half-step sword power is definitely a genius. Appearance also inherited his genes. Well, about narcissism, Yi Qingyu is very similar to someone Zhang. All in all, the conditions are good. But no one knew about the above things before today's inner gate qualifying competition. Yi Zihan has shown amazing kendo talent since he was a child. 10-year-old refining body realm sevenfold, master sword chi. At the age of 13, he broke through the first blood trick and mastered the sword. At the age of 18, he broke through to the early stage of the gathering spirit realm and the half-step sword force. If it weren't for the Qingyan sword sect's insufficient resources, this speed could be even faster. It is precisely because of this talent that Yi Qingyu has always kept Yi Zihan by his side to cultivate and has not publicized it. If it weren't for the fact that Yi Zihan was the daughter of the sect master, now 18 years old, she had to show some strong strength in front of the sect disciples, Yi Qingyu would still want to drag it out. Today's inner gate ranking match is Yi Zihan's debut match. Zhang Chushuan heard about it in advance. No way. Most of them are impromptu. But Yi Qingyu said that he was a little happy. Patriarch Zhang, are you talking about matchmaking? Yi Qingyu asked uncertainly. Zhang Yanting is 3 years younger than Yi Zihan, but the two will definitely be able to break through to the transformation spirit realm, which is nothing at all. Zhang Yanting was from the Zhang family of the 8-pin family, and although he didn't know the specific level yet, he was at least not weaker than the Qingyan sword sect. There is no need to talk about Zhang Yanting's own cultivation talent. Proper door-to-door right. Even Yi Zihan has some high climbs. Although Zhang Chushuan is clearly saying, I want to use my grandson, this pig, to marry Arch, your daughter Chinese cabbage, Yi Qingyu actually had some surprises of being hit by the pie. I'm serious. Zhang Chushuan smiled and nodded, and said, if sect master Yi reasons, it doesn't matter if you make a marriage contract now, the marriage of my Zhang family's descendants is up to me. If the marriage contract is Zhang Yanren, Zhang Yangxin, and Zhang cherish these daughters and granddaughters, Zhang Chushuan will definitely not overstep their responsibilities but respect their personal wishes. Of course, the other party must be in the debt. But sons and grandchildren don't have so many questions to consider. This is the fantasy world, and you have no problem marrying a few. Grandpa, Dad, I'll find you more good cabbage arches, what's there to refuse? You can't talk about love, right? Marrying one more doesn't affect Anyway, if you hurry up and spread the branches and leaves for the Zhang family, you can't rely on him to be old and strong, right? Although he waited for strength, his age was no different from that of a baby. This, Yi Qingyu didn't know how to answer for a while. He actually wanted to say yes in his heart. The fact that Zhang Yanting broke through the early stage of the gathering spirit realm at the age of 15 and comprehended the sword force was enough to make his heart move. Not to mention that the Zhang family is so mysterious, it is likely to be a hidden family that is about to be born. But as the woman's father, the head of a sect, it is not good to show too much enthusiasm in front of so many people. Zihan, what do you think? Yi Qingyu threw the question to her daughter Yi Zihan. On this occasion, he only has one choice, unless refused. This. Yi Zihan was a little confused. It all happened so suddenly. She is just a fight, how can it involve talking about marriage and getting married? The target is a young man who has just met today. But Yi Qingyu threw the question to her, indicating that there was a meaning of promise in it, but it was not good to respond directly, before asking her opinion. As for why Yi Qingyu agreed, Yi Zihan is not stupid and can guess one or two. So would I like to. Clarifying his thoughts, Yi Zihan seriously looked at Zhang Yanting not far away. Appearance, thick eyebrows and big eyes, resolute and sunny, straight posture, heroic, not the cream type he hates. Family lineage. I feel that Zhang Yanting's family is all monsters, she is inferior, and I heard that old Master Zhang has only been creating the Zhang family for 35 years, and now it is also extraordinary in the Bapin family, and the outside world can be expected. Strength. Zhang Yanting defeated her with one sword. Talent. No need to go into details. Character. Looks so simple, but not stupid, certainly not a person with weak feelings. Objective analysis is a good match. Then subjective analysis. Yi Zihan looked at Zhang Yanting's eyes and found that the other party was also looking at him. That. Zhang Yanting scratched his head, a little embarrassed not to overdo it, and said, Grandpa said that the female junior holds the gold brick, I will be good to you. His humble appearance caused Yi Zihan to laugh out loud, like the cold ice melting in the spring breeze. Zhang Yanting was stunned for a moment. This made Yi Zihan's face a little hot, and ripples rippled in his heart. Zhang Chushuan was also surprised when he saw this scene. This grandson can at a critical moment, and he actually took the initiative. Could it be that he looks at Han on the outside, but in fact, it is black on the inside? The same as Lao Su. Father, daughter everything but the father decides. Yi Zihan thought for a while and lowered his head a little shyly. Seeing this scene, Zhang Chushuan knew that this matter was stable. Yi Zihan's so-called decision to rely on his father is not a meaning of filial piety to listen to the elders, but a hint. Xuantian continent's customs in this regard are similar to those of ancient Earth, and they also talk about the fate of a parent and the words of a matchmaker. But the Xuantian continent still values strength, so girls have the right to choose. If a matchmaker comes to the door to say that he is kissing, the Chinese and Italian man will say that the marriage matters are decided by the parents, but if he does not like it, he will say, the daughter still wants to be filial to her parents for 2 years. Yi Zihan's meaning can be understood by everyone present. The father and daughter of the Yi family completed a wave of questions and answers in a cryptic way and exchanged opinions. Although everyone understood, they didn't feel that there was anything wrong. And Yi Zihan gave such an answer, Yi Qingyu naturally knew what to choose. In fact, even Li Zijian and other elders felt that this matter was feasible. Today the Qingyan sword sect took the initiative to lose the jurisdiction of Qingchuan Mansion, but if there was more in-law ally of the Zhang family, it would not only not lose, but also earn. Good. Yi Qingyu pretended to think. Seriously, patted the table next to him, and said, according to my Yu King law, you can get married at the age of 14, Zihan will turn 18 this year, and it is indeed the age to marry, since there is such a good match as Yanting, it is naturally impossible to miss it. Quote. Good fellows, everyone calls good fellows in their hearts. Yu Qingyan sword sect and Lanyu pavilion wear a pair of pants, who in the whole Nanyang prefecture doesn't know? As a result, is it okay to open your mouth now to say the law of the King of Vietnam? Find a reason not to find a decent point. Many people are slandering in their hearts, and at the same time are ready to say a few good words along the way. Of course, if you want to say good things, Baoqi will be favored by the Zhang family and Qingyan sword sect. This matter, Yi Qingyu glanced at Zhang Yanting and wanted to agree. But at this moment, a young man's voice suddenly came to mind in the venue. I don't agree with this matter. Wow, the crowd was stunned. At this time, someone actually offended the Zhang family and the Qingyan sword sect at the same time and stood up to speak against. Silly, right? Everyone looked at the analysis that came from the voice, and found that the person who spoke was a young man who looked about 17 or 18 years old, wearing the clothes of a disciple of the outer sect of the Qingyan sword sect. Many people showed disdainful smiles. Even a disciple of the outer sect of the Qingyan sword sect dares to prevent the marriage of the 8-rank forces. It is estimated that it is a delusional person who likes Yi Zihan. Who are you? Who is eligible to object? Yi Qingyu spoke coldly, and a flash of anger flashed in her eyes. It was a mess for a disciple from the outer sect to oppose him as a sect master in front of so many people, and to meddle in his family affairs. Could it be that he is usually too gentle with his disciples, making them misunderstand that their swords are not sharp? My name is Yi Feng. The young man calmly walked out of the crowd and arched his hand to Yi Qingyu. I've seen the sect master. Yi Feng. Yi Qingyu frowned slightly, feeling as if she had heard this name somewhere. At this time, one of the elders of the Qingyan sword sect came out and reminded Yi Qingyu, Sect master, this Yi Feng is the first in this outer gate competition. Oh, it's him. Yi Qingyu nodded lightly, and was a little impressed with this Yi Feng. A week before the Qingyan sword sect held the inner gate grand competition, there was also an outer gate grand competition to screen out the talents in the refining body realm and distribute some exercises and elixirs for cultivation. Yi Qingyu, as the sect master, only personally presided over the inner gate Dabi 013. The outer gate Dabi randomly assigned an elder to preside, and listen to the information afterwards. This Yi Feng he heard as a genius. Yi Feng, for the sake of you being the first in the outer gate this time, this seat forgives you for being rude this time, retreat. 39. After all, he was a genius, and Yi Qingyu considered the sect and decided to forgive him this time. At this time, many people in the crowd recognized Yi Feng's identity and talked about it. It's him, Yi Feng. I heard of him, who entered the sect at the age of 14, only broke through from the fourfold of the refining body realm to the fivefold flying dance in 3 years. It is said that half a month ago he luckily ate a yellow tear herb blood lingzi, and only then broke through to the sevenfold refining realm and became an outer sect disciple. He also dares to stand up and speak, too unself-aware, right? It can't be said that although Yi Feng's cultivation talent is not very good, he became the inner gate with the sevenfold refining body realm, defeated Yuan Meng, who opened the 3 blood tricks, and is also a genius. The sect master is worthy of being the sect master, and it is really because he knows this that he has not been investigated for the crime of disrespect. 35. Even if he is a genius, can he still compare with the little young master of the Zhang family? 99. It's ridiculous, no self-knowledge. Many people showed unkind, mocking eyes. Some people were jealous of Yi Feng. Others simply disdain and look down on him. But in the face of these discussions and gazes, Yi Feng showed calmness. This situation has made many people appreciate it. Zhang Chushuan's expression became a little strange as he listened to the chatter in the crowd. Yi Feng's development trajectory, then he is too familiar. Standard protagonist template for the protagonist of a fantasy web novel in a past life. From the name, it reveals a taste of luck. Looking at the appearance again, it is very ordinary, but very delicate, with bright eyes and vicissitudes in wisdom. Well, there is that smell. So is this a luck protagonist? That could it be that Yi Zihan is actually the heroine of luck? Then he promoted the marriage of Zhang Yanting and Yi Zihan, and it also tasted like that. Zhang Chushuan's eyes were inexplicable. When I saw Yanren, I thought I was a relative of the son of luck. So now, I made Yanting the villain. What script did I take? 23%. Chapter 92. The Emperor is reborn, the son of anger and luck subscription required. Wouldn't it be so coincidental? This will provoke a child of luck. The heroine who robbed the son of luck, then didn't Yanting become a villain? A protagonist offspring, a villain offspring. 9. That's amazing. Zhang Chushuan looked at Yi Feng calmly, feeling inexplicably expectant. He always felt that his granddaughter Zhang Yanren took the protagonist script. This is not a fantasy. In the fantasy world, luck really exists. Dynastic sect families have it, and individuals naturally have it, but it is mysterious, and it is difficult to be used. Personal luck is a world that bets on some people in order to seek detachment or evolution, and the people who are bet on are all children of luck, but there are strong and weak, large and small. The road to the rise of the son of luck is also the road of luck competition, which is destined to be bloody. If he really met a child of luck, Zhang Chushuan would not be afraid at all. Now is the era of family building for the whole people, and the children of luck all have to stand aside. If you really make a vengeance, then catch it and kill Yan Ran, maybe you can increase your luck. Sect Master, Yi Feng implores you not to agree to this marriage. Yi Feng spoke again at this time and said very seriously. Yi Qingyu's face turned blue. Although Yi Feng spoke very respectfully, he still felt that he didn't want to give a face. Yi Feng, what nonsense are you talking about? Apologize to me and step back. 35. Before Yi Qingyu was furious, Dugu, the 9th elder of the Qingyan sword sect, couldn't help but scold. Dugu Lang was the person in charge of the outer sect disciple Dabi a week ago, and he was very fond of Yi Feng, a genius disciple who had become the first place with the sevenfold refining body. He even thought about waiting for Yi Feng to become an inner sect disciple and accept him as a personal disciple. Is this the influence of the child of luck? Zhang Chushuan glanced at Dugu coldly. It shows that from above, this 9th elder is reprimanding Yi Feng, but in fact, this is a means of protection to avoid Yi Qingyu directly punishing him severely. To have this kind of protection is naturally the privilege of the child of luck. Otherwise, why would Dugu Lang do such a thankless thing? 9th elder, disciples have a reason to do this. Yi Feng saw Dugu Lang's intentions, and his heart was grateful, but a trace of helplessness flashed in his eyes. No one knows that he is actually a reborn. Before he was reborn, he cultivated to reach the Unity Realm, a supreme emperor who began to cultivate the law, and was only one step away from the great sage realm at the top of the continent. Unfortunately, the future disaster that swept through the Zontai continent broke out too suddenly, and before he could break through, he was surrounded by 5 opponents of the same realm. Relying on his strong strength, he won, but he was also seriously injured. As a result, a great sage struck. In despair, he had to burn his soul explosion and die with the other party. Fortunately, he did not lose his soul after the explosion, but was reborn for half a month with a memory from a gossip mirror obtained by chance. Because he was only reborn with memories, he had an empty realm, but his body and soul cultivation were still ordinary, unable to exert the strength of his previous life, and he needed to re-embark on a path of cultivation. It's more like accepting a legacy and having a clear path. But that's enough to get him excited. In his future memory, there are many martial arts for him to choose to cultivate, and there are many opportunities for him to obtain. By making good use of these resources, he can rise quickly, throw other Tianzhou far away, and coerce an era. But before that, he planned to go to the Gathering Spirit realm first. Only when he became a cultivator could he use many means, such as sword power, and barely possess the power to protect himself. But people are not as good as days. Today's inner gate competition. Originally he just came to relive Yi Zihan's demeanor of winning the first place in the inner gate, and then think of a way to relieve the other party in advance. Unexpectedly, Zhang Chushuan actually asked Zhang Yanting to marry Yi Zihan. In his memory, there was no matter of the Zhang family coming to worship the sect to test the sword, let alone the engagement. This made Yi Feng wonder, is this the butterfly effect brought about by rebirth? But no matter what, he couldn't let this matter go on. If it weren't for the fact that there was no way, Yi Feng didn't want to stand up and contradict Yi Qingyu, but he knew Yi Zihan and knew that this girl was very filial and the kind of character who started from the beginning. If this marriage is allowed to be set, then he and Yi Zihan will no longer be possible. Even if they cultivate to the peak in the future, they can only grab people and not get hearts. P.S. Absolutely non-toxic and non-hugging, everyone rest assured. What's more, he wouldn't do such a thing to Yi Zihan. Before his rebirth, Yi Zihan was the first and biggest regret in his life. Now that he has been reborn, he doesn't want to have any regrets. Why do you have to do this? Good, good, good. 35. Yi Qingyu laughed angrily and said coldly, then you should talk about it, what reason do you have to do this? 55. Zhang Chushuan also looked at Yi Feng with interest, wanting to see what this guy who meant the child of luck was going to do next. Disciple, I deeply love senior sister Yi Zihan. 35. Yi Feng arched his hand, word by word, and said seriously, at the first sight of senior sister Yi, I couldn't help but fall in love with her. I can't watch the woman I love get engaged to another man while I do nothing. Zhang Chushuan, sleeping, can you say such a lick, is it sure that it is a child of luck? Cough. Yi Qingyu coughed lightly, and was also a little confused. Everyone around was almost the same reaction, dumbfounded. No one expected Yi Feng to say this. But if you think about it, this end seems to be completely fine. Of course, Yi Feng loves Yi Zihan to do this, otherwise. It can only be said that he is obedient and bold. Yi Qingyu didn't know what to say for a while. It's not a mistake for her daughter to be liked, right? The ninth elder looked at Yi Feng with satisfaction. This is a person with a personality. The eyes of many young men around him also changed when they looked at Yi Feng, and they felt that his ordinary face suddenly looked a little handsome. Yi Zihan also looked at Yi Feng with a complicated expression. In fact, at first, she was a little disgusted with Yi Feng. Her marriage event, why should this stranger point fingers? But now, she somewhat admires Yi Feng's courage, at least he is willing to speak up for love. But that's all, she doesn't like the cream boy, scholar, type of boy. This Yi Feng looks average, in this boy at the bottom, she has no feeling. Could it be that the protagonist's aura really has the ability to reduce wisdom? Zhang Chushuan looked at the scene in front of him and just wanted to say that the protagonist's aura was terrifying. If someone else opened this mouth, even if he was not slapped to death by Yi Qingyu's palm, he was afraid that he would be expelled from the sect. As a result, this Yi Feng was good, and it actually attracted countless people's recognition. It's terrible. This is magic. Zhang Chushuan felt that as a villain, grandfather, he had to straighten this out. Ridiculous. Zhang Chushuan sneered. Well, a complete villain. Does old man Zhang disagree with the kid's speech, and thinks that I can't even speak out for love? Yi Feng said without humility or arrogance, but his heart blossomed. Lao Tzu has lived for thousands of years, relying on the old to sell the old here, so that you know what Banman Axe is. You confuse me less. Zhang Chushuan smiled disdainfully, looked at Yi Zihan, and said, Zihan, I'll just call you that, do you know this Yi Feng? Yi Zihan didn't know what Zhang Chushuan was going to do, but he still shook his head and said, the first time I saw you today, the first time I heard about it. Yi Feng's heart suddenly chuckled, and he had a bad premonition. At this time, Zhang Chushuan took out the elder's shelf and sneered, boy, it's right that you are brave for love, but the premise is that Zihan has something to do with you, such as being happy with each other in private. But Zihan doesn't know you. And when I proposed this matter to Sect Master Yi just now, Sect Master Yi asked Zihan about her own considerations, and she also politely expressed her willingness to agree. In other words, it had already become 99. You stand up now, ostensibly for love, but in fact to satisfy your own lusts. If you are really for love, why can't you think from Zihan's point of view? Congratulations on finding a good match, isn't my family's speech court good enough? If you really do it for love, then why don't you care that if you do this, it will destroy the relationship between my Zhang family and the Qingyan sword sect? If you really want love, you can fight for it in private. Why should you sweep Sect Master Yi's face in public, and let outsiders see jokes? 99. Can you answer me? Yi Feng was confused by Zhang Chushuan. But after savoring Zhang Chushuan's words, the people around them suddenly became clear in their thinking. Yes, this Yi Feng said that it was for love, but in fact, it was completely for his own selfish desires, but he abandoned the sect and ignored it. It's just that. Everyone looked at Yi Feng's eyes and suddenly changed. Sleeping, Yi Feng felt very uncomfortable. Things are completely different from what he thought. How did it come to be like this? Bastard, what else do you have to say? 35 Yi Qingyu looked at Yi Feng with a blue face. Yi Feng was completely out of ideas. But he definitely couldn't watch Yi Zihan throw himself into the arms of others. Before being reborn, Yi Zihan died before he was about to confess, and the two were not together. Self-opinion. Absolutely not this time. That's right. Yi Feng suddenly thought of something, looked at Zhang Chushuan sharply, and asked, Old man Zhang, are you from Lingxia town, Qingchuan Fu? Good. Zhang Chushuan nodded, a little puzzled as to how this child of luck would make a move. I wonder if you prefer sons. A flash of two flashed in Yi Feng's eyes. Patriarchal. Zhang Chushuan burst out laughing. Lao Tzu not only does not value sons, but also values women over men. 55. But how about that? Yi Feng smiled and asked. Then old Master Zhang doesn't want to know first why Ling granddaughter Zhang Yanren's cultivation has regressed to the triple refining body realm, and has been unable to advance. I don't know old Master Zhang, are you willing to save your granddaughter's life? Zhang Chushuan narrowed his eyes. He probably guessed the type of child of luck. Rebirth. 23%. Chapter 93. The mentality of the child of luck has been broken. Humanoid treasure hunter. Reborn. Or can you predict the future and calculate the world? Zhang Chushuan had a faint guess about Yi Feng, but he couldn't be sure. But that's okay, just test it. Do you know why my family's Yanren cultivation is backwards? Zhang Chushuan grabbed the handrail and asked, excitedly. Yes, I know. A hint of pride flashed in Yi Feng's eyes. His gaze swept over Yi Zihan, and he said squarely, I can also tell old Master Zhang that if the problem on Ling granddaughter can't be solved, she still has 4 days to live. 35. 4 days lifespan. Zhang Chushuan's body trembled, and said nervously, you quickly tell me, what problems Yan Ran's body has encountered, and how to solve it. As long as you tell me, I will definitely repay you well. 5. In repaying these 2 words, Zhang Chushuan deliberately increased the volume. It sounds serious, but it actually means a lot. Acting. This is soaring. Many people immediately cast envious glances towards Yi Feng. Being able to get such a guarantee from Zhang Chushuan is equivalent to getting the favor of an 8-rank top family, and this benefit is immeasurable for a martial artist of the refining body realm. Why don't they know Miss Zhang's information? However, there are also some people who have strange eyes. For example, the 3 brothers Zhang Yanmo, they know very well what strength Zhang Yanren's sister is now, and his cultivation is backwards, and he will die in 4 days. Operator. There are also high-level officials such as Yi Qingyu and other Qingyan sword sect. With their own intelligence network, they had knowledge of what happened before Lingxia town that day. Among them, it is not a secret that Zhang Yanren cross-level against the yellow tier peak fierce beast black crystal python. Such a genius, will die in 4 days. Where did Yi Feng get the gossip? Everyone smelled the conspiracy emanating from Zhang Chushuan. But they all tacitly did not break it, and wanted to see what Zhang Chushuan was going to do next. And this, Yi Feng didn't know, and a trace of joy flashed in his heart. 017. It seems that my memory is not wrong about this part. Quote. The future Zanbing female emperor is still troubled by the Xuanian holy vein. 35. No accident, it will not be until the last day of the Xuanian holy vein awakening day that he will be saved by his master Wu Empress Wu Yanxi and embark on the road of rise from then on. 35. This is my great opportunity. Thinking of this, Yi Feng's heart jumped up without arguing, and his heart was extremely hot. In his memory, Zhang Yanren of the Zhang family was the Xuanian holy vein, and like every Xuanian holy vein, he had regressed after the initial awakening of the holy vein. The Zhang family is just an ordinary family, and it has no resources and ability to help Zhang Yanting awaken. But Zhang Yan was deeply blessed, and was accepted as an apprentice by a remnant soul of a king from the middle region, the original Wu Empress Wu Yanxi, who practiced a mysterious exercise, which could swallow the world's xenomorph ice and become stronger, and it only took 1,200 years to break through to the quasi-emperor realm and be known as the Zanbing female emperor. If it weren't for the outbreak of that great war without warning, the Zanbing female emperor would probably have become the latest great emperor of the Xuantian continent in the past 100,000 years. The Zhang family, led by Emperor Zanbing, also became a godless clan. Yi Feng remembered that before his death, the Yanwang dynasty founded by the Zhang family had been promoted to the third rank, which was comparable to many holy places. The emperor of the Yanwang dynasty was Zhang Yanting's father Zhang Jingxuan, but most of the credit for the development of the Yanwang dynasty was due to the whims of the Taishang emperor Zhang Chushuan. The Zhang family is very powerful. Before being reborn, Yi Feng could only look up to Zhang Yanren. Although he already had several red faces at that time, he was also one of Zhang Yanren's admirers. Thinking of admirers, I remember that the reincarnation old demon Handy and the Zanbing female emperor came out of the same town, and have always been the most loyal pursuers of the Zanbing female emperor, and now it should not have risen yet, I may be able to befriend him in advance, or snatch his opportunity. Samsara Old Devil is the title. Yi Feng remembered that before he was reborn, Handy was attacking the quasi-emperor realm, and was likely to become the second newborn quasi-emperor of the Xuantian continent. Handan Li is a very ordinary person, without any physique, but his luck is against the sky, and his rise all the way can be described as a continuous opportunity. Yi Feng pondered whether to treat this person as his own humanoid treasure detector rat. There is also Mo Xiaoxiao, who has a stronger Tianian holy body than the Xuanian holy vein, and the Xuanian female emperor was once withdrawn from marriage in the Mo family and the Zhang family to have a grudge, and finally this body married into the Zhang family, maybe I can stop it. Yi Feng felt that he was suddenly opened up to his mind. Maybe the Zhang family is not her robbery, but chance. If you handle it well, you can not only realize Yi Zihan's dream, but even get to know her before the Xuanian female emperor made a fortune and attack her. There is also the reincarnation master of the king of the Xuanian female emperor, and the martial saint Wu Yanxi, who later broke through to the realm of the great sage, actually married Zhang Chushuan. It is better to cheapen him. Maybe you can master an apprentice Donburi. I remember that Zhang Yanren also has a younger sister, Zhang Yangxin. Maybe Sister Donburi. Thinking of the excitement, Yi Feng felt his blood boiling. These women are not ordinary women. And the starting point of everything is to save Zhang Yanren. In fact, Zhang Yanren himself will not have an accident, but these Zhang Chushuan do not know. So it's okay for him to take it out and deceive him and put the credit on himself. In an instant, Yi Feng changed his original intention. However, Yi Zihan's marriage contract still needs to be stopped. Old man Zhang, the kid naturally has a way to solve the problem on Ling granddaughter. I don't think you will think that I am a refining realm martial artist who came to lie to you. Quote. It's just that I have a reluctant request. Yi Feng arched his hand at Zhang Chushuan, and his behavior was much more modest. But this made Zhang Chushuan ahead of the spirit. If the child of luck is polite to you, it means that he is going to start pitting you. The more polite, the more ruthless the pit. At this time, if you are not cautious, you will have to help people pay if they are sold. Reluctantly, talk about it, Zhang Chushuan asked knowingly. Yi Feng glanced at Yi Zihan with an expression and said seriously, what you just said is not unreasonable. 35. If I don't care about standing up, It will indeed damage the relationship between the Zhang family and the Qingyan sword sect, so the solution to the problem on my granddaughter, I am willing to contribute free of charge, which is considered an apology. 35. At this point, many people's expressions changed slightly. No one expected Yi Feng to have such courage. In this way, his biggest mistakes are made up, and there may be credit. At this time, I heard Yi Feng continue. Let the sect master lose face, it is also my lack of consideration. The kid recently found a sword-shaped grass, which can be presented to the sect master as an apology. Quote. Sword-shaped grass is a special Zan rank elixir containing sword power, which can be used by swordsmen to comprehend sword power, which can improve the level of sword potential comprehension. If you swallow this herb with a half-step sword force, you have a 30% chance of mastering the sword force. This elixir is useless against fierce beasts, so there will be no guardian fierce beasts. According to the memory of his previous life, Yi Feng cut off this sword-shaped grass that should have been found by Yi Qingyu himself in advance, and planned to find a suitable time to send it and brush the favor of the foreign old man. Now, the time is right. Sword-shaped grass. When Yi Qingyu heard this, she immediately became excited. The Qingyan sword sect is all swordsmen, and they are absolutely eager to master the sword and have sword power. The temptation of this sword-shaped grass to him was very great. Sect master, to you. Yi Feng took out the sword-shaped grass from the Na ring and threw it to Yi Qingyu, which was not distressed at all. With the memory of rebirth, as long as he improves his physical and soul strength, not to mention the sword strength, even the sword intent and realm can be mastered naturally. What a sword-shaped grass! Yi Qingyu sucked the sword-shaped grass into his hand, and his eyes were hot. At this time, Yi Feng continued to say to Zhang Chushuan, Old man, the first point you put forward is that son is a good match for Yi Zihan's senior sister, boy believes. But the kid thinks that he is also a good match, and hopes to fight for it. The son of luck is worthy of being a child of luck, find the right entry point, and solve the three problems just raised by Zhang Chushuan perfectly. If it is an ordinary person, I am afraid that it will suffer a dark loss, and it can only be played by Yi Feng. But he is not a vegetarian either. Oh, how do you want to fight for it? Zhang Chushuan asked. Covenant battle. Yi Feng said confidently. 1 year. Give me a year, and I'm confident I can catch up with Ling Sun. We'll compete. Quote. If I can win, the Zhang family will give up the marriage. Yi Feng is very smart, and did not bring Yi Zihan, only aimed at the Zhang family, so that Yi Zihan would not feel that she was a commodity. A 1-year covenant. Zhang Chushuan smiled. This is indeed something that the child of luck can do. But now he has determined that this child of luck is a reborn, or a traverser who has not opened the era of national travel. It seems that even if the whole people cross this matter, our Zhang family can rise. Quote. It's just that I don't know if it's because of the words or because I have awakened 100-fold reward ability. Or both. 9. Interesting. Zhang Chushuan thought secretly in his heart, but he was no longer in the mood to play with Yi Feng. Yi Feng calculated everything, and didn't know that he had awakened the ice spirit eyes. In addition to the spiritual attack effect, the ice spirit eyes can make people have the effect of seeing through whether people with lower cultivation than themselves are malicious. Although Yi Feng behaved appropriately, the increasingly strong malice could not be hidden. Combined with the online novels he read in his previous life, he guessed that Yi Feng must be having a bad idea. It's not that he wants the Zhang family to break down and die, that is, he is completely a lackey, sending his subordinates, sending resources, and sending women. Don't even think about these things. It's a pity that I can't promise you 2 things. Zhang Chushuan sighed and stopped pretending. Don't agree. Yi Feng was stunned, feeling that things were a little out of control. I can't promise you. Zhang Chushuan spread his hands helplessly and said, My Zhang family has a profound background. Do you think the Xuanian holy vein of Yan Dai will not be activated? She has long since lost her life, and she is still the first person in the 3 generations of my Zhang family. Zhang Chushuan was shocked by everyone. In addition to the 3 talents of the Zhang family who comprehended the sword power, there is actually the legendary Xuanian holy vein. The Zhang family wants to soar into the sky. You country, Nanyangzhou, this chess battle place can't be trapped. Countless people came to such a conclusion, and at the same time began to think about how to have something to do with the Zhang family. On the side, Yi Qingyu was more determined to let Yi Zihan and the Zhang family marry. This ride, He Qingyan sword sect, must catch a ride. The only one on the scene who felt the malice of the world was Yi Feng. How is that possible? Yi Feng muttered incredulously. The Zonbing female emperor actually awakened the Xuanian holy vein in advance. Could it also be a butterfly effect? He said this so softly that no one standing next to him could hear him. But Zhang Chushuan has been paying attention to him and using Reiki radio to monitor all the time, so he can hear it clearly. Female Emperor Zonbing. Words. 99. The butterfly effect. Sure enough, it was rebirth. Hammering Yi Feng's child of luck type, Zhang Chushuan looked at him as if he was looking at a treasure trove. The whole people have traveled through the times, and Yi Feng has a lot of memories that are definitely not easy to use. However, the birth time of the secret place of chance, the information of some Tianzhao talents, must be remembered clearly. It's a treasure. You have to dig it well. You can use it as an adult-shaped treasure hunter. But first, you have to make him a disciple of the Qingyan sword sect. 24%. Chapter 94 Family Hidden Achievements. Son of Vengeance, Rich Rewards. Subscription required. It's best to let Yi Feng take the initiative to judge the sect. It's a little difficult, but you can give it a try. With a turn of thought, Zhang Chushuan had an idea. You said that you want to make an agreement with my family's Yanting, which also requires Zihan's consent. After all, if Zihan doesn't like you, even if Yanting deliberately loses to you, it's useless. 35. Zhang Chushuan looked at Yi Feng and said lightly. What will happen later, he does not know. But he can be sure that Yi Zihan has absolutely nothing to do with Yi Feng now. And in addition to talent, Yi Zihan is definitely a good girl, probably the kind of woman who traditionally values agreements. Otherwise, Yi Feng, a son of luck and proficient in playing pigs and eating tigers, would definitely not take the risk of standing up to stop this marriage at this time. This is obviously a helpless move. This is really cheap for his Zhang family. Meddlesome. At the same time, it can also be seen that Yi Zihan is very important to Yi Feng. Then whether it is for the Zhang family or to break Yi Feng's mentality, Yi Zihan and Zhang Yanting must be allowed to make a marriage contract. This is also very easy to solve. Yi Qingyu is not a problem, as long as Yi Zihan himself is done. And if you want to get Yi Zihan. The corners of Zhang Chushuan's mouth were slightly upturned, looked at Yi Zihan, and said, Zihan, although what you promised just now was very tactful, Grandpa Zhang is not different etiquette. It's rare to be loved by a man so much. If you want to give him this opportunity, I can take it for Yanting. My Zhang family man, not weaker than anyone. Zhang Chushuan's words were arrogant. To outsiders, it doesn't sound like the slightest problem. I will only feel that old man Zhang is mighty, old man Zhang is open-minded, and old man Zhang has a good temperament. Everyone looked at Yi Zihan to see how she answered. And this invisibly put a pressure on Yi Zihan. This pressure is also a moral shackle, which will make Yi Zihan particularly concerned about the sentence mentioned by Zhang Chushuan, although you just promised very tactfully, so that she kept reminding herself that she had actually agreed. If she does not admit it at this time, she will become a treacherous and low-spirited gold-worshipping woman. Obviously, Yi Zihan is not such a woman. Grandpa Zhang, you said and laughed. Yi Zihan took a deep breath, glanced at Zhang Yanting, and said seriously, Zihan has some good feelings for young Master Zhang, and the marriage contract of children has always been the fate of parents. 99. My father was already about to agree just now, so of course this matter should be so. As soon as the next word came out, Yi Zihan could be said to have directly responded to this family affair. Yi Qingyu was also very upright, and he couldn't help but dream a lot at night, and said, to have such a good match as Yanting, this seat is very happy to see it. Let's just top this marriage. When old man Zhang, you can send someone to match. Although Zhang Chushuan and Yi Qingyu can set the marriage, the big forces pay attention to face, and the form that should be taken still needs to be walked. Of course, Zhang Chushuan would not be stingy in this kind of thing, and immediately admitted, in that case, then this matter will prove settled, and when the time comes, I will find a weighty matchmaker to come and hire. After speaking, Zhang Chushuan looked at Yi Feng with a little helplessness and said, Zihan is not a cargo after all, she has her own ideas, and you are welcome to challenge the Yanting at any time, but for Zihan's thoughts, I think you better put it away. Yi Feng subconsciously clenched his fists. According to the original trajectory, he would have to wait until 3 days after the inner gate Dabi to obtain that opportunity, and it was also at that time that Yi Zihan was strong. In the next 7 days, the Qingyan sword sect would suffer the disaster, and he and Yi Zihan escaped under Yi Qingyu's desperate escort and spent a period of escape to Lanyu Pavilion. During this time, They will cultivate feelings, and Yi Zihan also died to protect him. Yi Feng's own brain supplement. In fact, Yi Zihan realized that the enemy could always chase her, which may be related to her Linglong sword heart, so they parted ways. Closing parenthesis. In Yi Feng's heart, Yi Zihan was the biggest regret before being reborn. Now there is a chance to redeem it, why should it be lost? This senior brother Yi. 99. At this time, Yi Zihan's voice came from afar, making Yi Feng have a glimmer of hope in his heart, and suddenly raised his head to look at her. Thank you for liking me. Yi Zihan smiled softly and said seriously, I believe in eye contact, there is no relationship between you and me, and you are not my type, even if you are not engaged, it is impossible between me and you. 5. Yi Zihan is a decisive person. If any boy thinks too much, she will definitely cut it clearly, instead of giving people an illusion to hang. Yi Feng never knew that Yi Zihan was indeed a character from one to the end, but he also worshipped the strong like a normal woman, and at the same time did not like cream boys. Yi Feng also did not know that he looked average, and he was not even as good as the cream boy. In the original trajectory, when Yi Zihan lived and died, his strength was not as good as her. And how to make people admire. So I'm all doing it myself. No, that's not right. The experience of living and dying together can change a lot of things, and these haven't happened yet, so Yi Zihan didn't see himself clearly. Yi Zihan should have been mine. But now, everything has been ruined by him. Hatred appeared in Yi Feng's eyes, and he stared at Zhang Chushuan. It was only after Zhang Chushuan appeared that his memory began to go awry, and it would develop to this point. Everything is Zhang Chushuan. Even if he is the grandfather of the future Xuanian female emperor, he will definitely not be forgiven. A slight undetectable killing intent flashed under Yi Feng's eyes, and then he began to sort out his expression. But this obliteration intent was captured by Zhang Chushuan. Since you want to kill me. Zhang Chushuan's eyes narrowed slightly. He originally planned to keep Yi Feng alive, but he wanted to use it as a treasure-hunting rat. To put it bluntly, it has use value. But now, Yi Feng had a killing intent on him. Don't stay over there. The devil knows if the child of luck will suddenly rise, what if he gets rid of it? At this moment, a long-lost prompt suddenly sounded in Zhang Chushuan's ears. Congratulations on triggering the hidden achievement, the child of luck's hatred killing intention, and get the hidden reward. Hidden reward 1. Luck plunder. Whenever you kill or completely subdue a child of luck, you can get the entire origin of the other party. 0. Asking for flowers. Hidden reward 2. Protagonist killer. Every child of luck has to be decent, loved by plane consciousness or the world heavenly path, etc. It is difficult to be killed. You with this characteristic can be completely free from dimensionality reduction blows, arbitrarily kill the protagonist of luck. Hidden reward 3. Protagonist identification. You can check the luck status of the child of luck. Hidden reward 4. 1 chance to draw special chests. Since you complete the hidden achievement reward, the system will make a national announcement to stimulate all the crossers to accelerate the family building. Another series of system prompts sounded. Without waiting for Zhang Chushuan to digest all the information, the world announcement sounded right after. World announcement. Xuantian continent. Zhang Chushuan completes the hidden achievement and forges the Sun of Luck, and obtains a series of rewards confidential. X3. The same announcement exploded 3 times in a row in the minds of all the crossers. At this moment, billions of traversers in dozens of lower planes moved in unison. This voice sounds somewhat familiar. 00. World announcement. The one who triggered the world announcement. Sure enough, Zhang Chushuan again. World channel instant fryer. Rely on. The whole people cross the system. I want to report, this person will definitely open the plugin. World announcement level rewards. I want to have 2. 35. I heard that Zhang Chushuan is peddling all kinds of good things, and I am likely to be unable to keep even the young patriarch uncomfortable and want to cry. Only I noticed that Zhang Chushuan boss turned on the reward this time. Isn't it necessarily a good thing? The child of luck will not be the child of luck in my impression, right? Walking to pick up equipment exercises, walking to the sky to fall off the master. Every time you encounter danger, it actually means that the child of luck who wants to make a big deal. Fantasy world, this is normal. Change it to me, knowing that the child of luck will also offend. After all, the child of luck will not give you food or drink, but the reward given by the system can make us rise quickly. 5. Upstairs solution. 35. A group of people talked about it. Zhang Chushuan didn't even look inside, and his attention was all attracted by the reward. Luck plunder, protagonist killer, protagonist identification. These three sets are grouped up. Is this to make him the protagonist killer? Wouldn't that really be a villain? Not true. Zhang Chushuan decisively rejected the original idea, instead associating it with the family hypothesis. The system hopes that all people will build a good family. Then these special rewards are also used in this way. There are also many types of children of luck, and it is not necessary to kill them all. You can also be co-opted, you can be friends, you can become a member of the family. This is an authenticator. Tisk. Zhang Chushuan looked at Yifeng from a distance like a treasure, and then threw out a protagonist identification. Name: Yifeng. Identity: Son of Luck. Grade: yellow, red, yellow, blue, purple and gray gold. Verdict: killable. Special tip: because I haven't obtained the transformation treasure yet, my luck has not yet been fully opened, and I will reach the purple level after it is fully opened. River. 24%. Chapter 95. Level is Secret Technique Heavenly Soul Fear Curse, Curse Killing Heavenly Soul. Subscription required. Killable, it means that the luck level is lower than mine. I haven't obtained the transformation treasure yet, the luck has not been fully opened, and after it is fully opened, it has reached the purple level. It seems that this guy has been reborn to a relatively early time period, and even the rebirth props have not been remastered. 35. Interesting. Zhang Chushuan smiled at the corners of his mouth, and a murderous intent flashed in the depths of his eyes. Yifeng is undoubtedly the son of luck, and when he gets the heavenly destiny treasure, the luck level is still quite low, and at that time, he is likely to be unable to use the privilege of protagonist killer to kill the other party. After all, he is now highly lucky, and it is likely that he is stained with the light of Zhang Yan's granddaughter of this luck protagonist. You must seize the opportunity and kill with one blow. But it can't be too obvious. After all, this is the territory of the Qingyan sword sect, and killing a disciple in front of the landlord of the other family is too slain in the face even if it is a scoundrel. I seem to lack a bit of a sinister means. Zhang Chushuan was suddenly a little unhappy. As an old sinister, it should be said that as a resourceful man, he found himself recently equipped with a bunch of warrior skills. This situation is a little wrong, and I have to think of a 023 way to change it. He likes the feeling of sitting in the back and controlling everything with his lips. By the way, I also have a hidden reward for a special chest lottery opportunity, maybe you can use it. Do it when you think of it. Temporarily possessing the late-stage cultivation of the incarnation spirit realm, Zhang Chushuan is now thinking about problems very quickly. From the moment the announcement suddenly sounded until he realized that there was a special chest to use, it was only a few seconds away. Whoosh! It was a colorful treasure chest floating in front of Zhang Chushuan. The people around did not react in the slightest, obviously invisible. Zhang Chushuan still chose to. Congratulations, you have opened a special martial arts treasure chest. You can choose any of the following martial arts. Sky-breaking sword technique. Special sword technique, a special way to condense the spirit and spirit in one point of convergence. The strength is strong enough, the momentum is long enough, it can pierce the firmament. Master this secretary. You can successfully comprehend sword chi, sword ray, sword strength, sword intent, sword domain, and the laws of kendo. Heaven slashing sword technique special knife method, a special way to condense the spirit and spirit in one point of convergence. The strength is strong enough, and the momentum is long enough, it can slash the heavens and the earth. Master this secretary. You can smoothly comprehend the sword chi, sword edge, sword strength, sword intent, sword domain, and the law of sword path. Special marksmanship. Splitting the heavenly god palm special palm method. Open heavenly god fist special boxing method. Wearing the heavenly god finger special fingering. Stepping on the heavenly god leg special leg method. Heavenly soul fear curse special soul method. You can cast a spell on one of the three souls. And the success of the spell can shatter the heavenly soul, become a person who is tired of the sky, lower the heavenly punishment to kill, and also randomly obtain part of the memory inheritance. The more profound, the clearer. Even if the other party achieves the distraction realm, it is useless, but curses the entire divine soul, and the probability of success depends on the strength of the opponent's soul and the level of soul power. Closing parenthesis. Zhang Chushuan. Is this a stab in the sky's nest? It's actually all martial arts that have a grudge against the sky, chopping, stepping on, wearing, etc., everything. Just a normal one. There was a small spit in his heart, but Zhang Chushuan's eyes were very bright. It's just a pillow when sleepiness comes. Sure enough, Zhang Chushuan is the son of luck. Swordsmanship, swordsmanship, marksmanship, palm techniques, etc., are all strong. After mastering this set of secret methods strengthened by the system, it can be said that it will be a smooth road in the comprehension of artistic conception in the future, not too easy. Such as sword intent, and so on. This artistic conception is not the plausible spiritual means in martial arts novels, but a kind of introductory mastery that embarks on the road, realizes oneself, sublimates the spirit, and is expected to be detached. But today, Zhang Chushuan didn't choose any of them. One is that no matter which one you choose, you feel that you are indebted to the others. What if you are abandoned as a scumbag in the future? Well, in fact, because there are whole family synchronization skills, these secret methods are not so important. On the contrary, it was the soul fear curse that day, an absolute good thing, a magic weapon for the yin people, and it must be obtained. I choose the heavenly soul dread. Zhang Chushuan made a decision in a flash. The next moment, a mysterious secret method appeared out of thin air in his mind. Since it is directly given by the system, it is directly mastered. Special method of consumption detected. Consumption can be selected by the following 100-fold increase. 1. The proficiency of the heavenly soul dread curse has increased to Dacheng. Can you still be directly proficient? Love. The corners of Zhang Chushuan's mouth grinned slightly, and he immediately chose to accept. In the next moment, a large number of secret method perceptions and experience came out of thin air and merged into the memory like a tide, and the method was personally experienced countless times. I don't know how long has passed in my mind, but only a second has passed from the outside world, and a glint of light flashed in Zhang Chushuan's dark eyes. Senior Sister Yi, listen to me, you are still a little hasty in making this decision now. I'm the one who really fits you. In front of the competition platform, Yi Feng continued to persuade Yi Zihan while walking towards her and slowly approaching. Seeing him behave like this, the people around him who watched the excitement all showed a look of disdain, thinking that this man was really a toad who wanted to eat swan meat, and thought of the point of madness. Yi Qingyu frowned. Originally, for Yi Feng's initiative to contribute sword-shaped grass, he had already planned to reveal the previous matter, and also planned to give the exercises and sword techniques to compensate after the fact. As a sword cultivator, as a sect master, he did not have the habit of taking things from his disciples for nothing. But now, he changed his mind. This Yi Feng is inevitably too ignorant to advance and retreat. Just when Yi Qingyu was about to scold, Yi Feng suddenly stopped, and his right hand subconsciously grabbed the left chest. A feeling of palpitations arose that made him very uncomfortable. It seems like some calamity is about to happen to him. This feeling is not unfamiliar to him. Before he was reborn, it was by relying on this feeling, with that special gossip mirror, that he was able to save the danger several times and make a windfall. The last battle before his rebirth, he also had this experience before the war. Catastrophe, Yi Feng muttered, and decisively took out a piece of rune paper from the Na ring. This is a 1,000-mile magic talisman that, after being activated, can instantly escape into space and randomly move to any place thousands of miles away. This kind of divine talisman can only be made by the refiner masters who have cultivated to reach the Dharma realm, and the price is very expensive, and it is a common thing for those holy sons and daughters in the Holy Land. Yi Feng has more than one, and all this also relies on memory, cutting off the opportunity for a disciple of the inner sect of the Qingyan sword sect to change his life. In essence, Yi Feng is also only for his own egoism. Few tilde operator. Grabbing the divine action charm, Yi Feng felt a little secure. But he dreamed a lot, and he didn't plan to continue to waste persuading Yi Zihan. Now Yi Zihan has completely embarked on the path of mistake, and it is useless to rely solely on persuasion. She can only be forcibly taken away first, and slowly turn her emotions brainwashing back on track in the process of the next journey escape. With a decision, Yi Feng immediately used a body method to sweep towards Yi Zihan, and at the same time recognized a piece of rune paper, and said seriously, Zihan, I don't understand it now. In order not to let you do something you regret, you come with me. 35. As his words fell, the rune paper burned on its own, turning into a ray of light that shot into Yi Zihan's body. You did it to me. Yi Zihan's face showed a look of horror. The light swept quickly, she had no time to avoid it, and she had already been hit. Then she found that she couldn't sense the dantian, nor could she sense that the blood in her body had completely lost its connection with the aura. 4.4. Then, she found that her body suddenly couldn't move. It's nothing, it's just a Xuanji talisman for you. Yi Qingyu fell lightly to Yi Zihan's side. Noticing that Zhang Yanting had drawn his knife not far away, he smiled contemptuously and raised the divine action charm. Zhang Chushuan, I wrote down the humiliation you gave me today. 9. In the coming day, I will go to the Zhang family to get it back 100 times. For the Qingyun sword sect, Yi Feng's senses are actually good. Considering that Yi Qingyu is Yi Zihan's father, he didn't say anything ruthless. In the future, his cultivation is strong enough to ask the Qingyun sword sect to look up, and if he has a child with Yi Zihan, any problem can be solved. He now puts all his grudge on Zhang Chushuan. 1,000 miles divine talisman. Want to escape safely. Being ruthlessly spoken by Yi Feng, Zhang Chushuan's expression did not change at all, and he sneered in his heart. How difficult the child of luck is, he knows very well. If Yi Feng was allowed to escape this time, no one knew what would happen. Then experiment with you. Heavenly Soul Fear Curse. 24%. Chapter 96. From the son of luck to the man of heavenly disgust, he died a tragic death. Subscription required. Soul Shi, return to Shi, come to Shi. A golden luster appeared on Zhang Chushuan's pitch-black pupils, and his fingers kept changing. The Dacheng level Heavenly Soul Dread Curse allowed him to master this secretary to an extremely profound level. At least it is not a problem to hide from the eyes of outsiders. Chang. Zhang Chushuan felt that everything around him had become a darkness. The special eye opened, and he saw a mysterious aura above Yi Feng's head. This chi connects to the sky, forming a special heavenly path. This is a special space heavenly road, because the heavenly soul is only a conscience, but also an immortal, Wuji, and it is also causally involved with the body, and after a person dies, he cannot return to the origin of the sect, so he can only follow the heavenly road to the sustenance of the space heavenly road, and temporarily take custody of his main god. This is called the heavenly prison. If a cultivator's cultivation does not reach the divine mansion, part of the heavenly soul belongs to the heavens. Only by breaking through to the divine mansion, all 3 souls and 7 spirits are integrated into the divine mansion to form a divine soul, can they be completely controlled by themselves. It can also be called a heavenly reward. But the heavenly road will not be cut off. Tien still has the right to manage the heavenly soul, and can even use this to contact the cultivator's divine soul to form a constraint. But cultivators are not without benefits. The divine soul is managed by the heavens, so that cultivators can also use the heavenly path to comprehend, embark on the path of distraction, channeling, and divineness, and finally even reach cooperation with heaven, to achieve the law of heaven and earth. Only when cultivating beyond O4 to break away from the Dharma realm, reach the realm of unity of self, and achieve the Supreme Emperor, can you break free from the shackles of heaven and earth. The great sage and quasi-emperor above him are even more superior to heaven and earth. But if you want to be detached, you still have to break through the great emperor. These are still too far away for Zhang Chushuan for the time being. Now, he only entered a special state through the heavenly soul fear curse, and was able to secretly calculate Yi Feng's heavenly soul. Under the secret technique, Zhang Chushuan took a breath of the soul power of the spirit realm level, smoothly entered Yi Feng's heavenly path, and quickly found the heavenly soul by induction. Yi Feng's soul exists in Yi Feng's body, but it actually exists in Zan and Zan's spiritual space, and will not actively affect Yi Feng. Spare me. Facing the divine light contained in Zhang Chushuan's eyes, Yi Feng's heavenly soul instinctively pleaded. But how could Zhang Chushuan be merciful to his subordinates? Click. Yi Feng's heavenly soul is still very weak, only a little stronger than the martial artist of the refining body realm, and it is completely insufficient to see in front of Zhang Chushuan, and the heavenly soul instantly turns into pieces. These soul fragments were scattered through the heavenly road, and some of them were purified and integrated into Zhang Chushuan's spiritual space, which he could fuse and read at will. The resurgence of the Earth Flame sect swept through the entire Nanyang prefecture. The Qingyun sword sect will soon be destroyed. Oh, it turns out that this is the reason why Yi Feng is obsessed with Yi Zihan, first love plus dedication plot, but from my LSP point of view, people obviously don't have the slightest bit of men and women for you, you can really be narcissistic. Yan Ran will become the first female quasi-emperor in 100,000 years in the future, with the posture of a great emperor. Reincarnation Old Devil, Han Li Mortal Cultivators. There are still many opportunities. Saint Lord level sword technique. Quote. Yanwang Dynasty, Sanpin family. Wu Yanxi will become a concubine in the 5th room, so who is the 4th room? Just casually digesting some memories, Zhang Chushuan almost laughed out loud. These memories are extraordinarily valuable. He could be sure that there was no such thing as a national crossing in the world before Yi Feng's rebirth. In that world, He Zhang Chushuan still succeeded. So now that the whole people cross, as the only ancestor, he has so many golden fingers, and he has no road to mix worse and worse. Thank you for this gift. Yi Feng. Zhang Chushuan showed a smile to Yi Feng. Yi Feng had been paying attention to Zhang Chushuan, and his heart suddenly choked. Why can he still laugh at such a time? Yi Feng, you are so daring. Yi Qingyu slapped the table and offered a long sword to Yi Feng. At this moment, he was completely furious. This Yi Feng actually kidnapped his daughter in front of so many people, and wanted to use the legendary divine action charm to escape, but he simply didn't take him seriously. However, someone is faster than Yi Qingyu. Grab my future daughter-in-law, see if I don't hack you to death. Zhang Yanting used all his strength and 2% of the sword strength this time. A huge aura knife instantly hung in the air and fell towards Yi Feng. Yi Feng watched quietly, not putting this trick in his eyes at all. All attacks in front of the magic rune, it is all decoration. When activated, a special enchantment will be formed within a radius of 5 meters around the user, which can resist all attacks from warriors in the Law Phase realm. And within a radius of 5 meters, the magic rune can take everything. But the next moment, Yi Feng's expression changed suddenly. How is that possible? At the same time, Yi Feng's body exploded. But his strength was not enough after all, and his reaction was also half a step. Poof! The sound of skin and flesh cutting sounded. Zhang Yanting's all-out stab cut off one of Yi Feng's left arms. Operator. Yi Feng clutched his arms and let out a scream of pain. Damn, how so? Yi Feng didn't understand why the divine action charm was invalid, but he realized that the situation was wrong, and immediately took out a piece of healing talisman paper from the Na ring and used it on himself. This healing talisman can only be made by the king several times the formation talisman master, and it contains the evolution of heaven and earth treasures, which can instantly restore all the injuries of the cultivator in the king realm, and the rebirth of broken limbs can also be done. After using the rune paper, a strange red chi poured into Yi Feng's body, and he let out a scream again. He broke off his arm, and blood gushed out, boiling into a blood mist before he landed, and then dissipated. Wei Yang talisman paper. Yi Feng realized what had happened. Perhaps too anxious, he took the wrong rune paper and used the Wei Yang rune paper that looked a lot like the healing rune paper. After the use of the Wei Yang rune paper, it can make the warrior's blood boil, improve his combat effectiveness, and restore to resist or remove the cold damage in the body, which is also a good thing. But Yi Feng used it in the case of a broken arm, but it became suicide. At this moment, Yi Qingyu's long sword flew over. Poof! Boom! In front of everyone's eyes, the long sword directly pierced through Yi Feng's chest, and a half-step sword momentum emanated from the surface, cutting off all the vitality in the latter's body. Poof! Yi Feng spat out a mouthful of blood, his legs were soft and he knelt to the ground, his eyes widened, looking ahead, his eyes full of disbelief. He didn't understand how he could die. Before he was reborn, he was a dignified man with the law of heaven and earth. He came back from this rebirth to make up for his regrets and to become the great emperor of Nagu. He is the pride of heaven, the son of luck, and the one who dies will be murderous, there will be someone to protect, and it is only right that he can be respected. 023. But why? What about such a hasty death? Yi Feng's eyes were gradually replaced by darkness, and he finally threw himself on the test table. Zhang Chushuan looked at this scene and trembled in his heart. In the eyes of others, Yi Feng's death may be an accident, or maybe Yi Qingyu is too strong. But only he knew that everything was just because Yi Feng had become a person of heavenly disgust. After his heavenly soul disappeared, Tian sensed that something was wrong and then became angry. Ideographic period. Heaven doesn't need to know the truth. It doesn't need to know why Yi Feng's heavenly soul was lost. It understands that Yi Feng fouled, and the heavenly soul was stolen by the refining body realm. This is not liked by heaven. The son of luck has the benefits of heaven, and when it is fierce, it is auspicious and good things happen. The son of heaven is naturally doomed, good things turn into bad things, and he is full of broom stars. Zhang Chushuan clearly saw that Yi Feng's original use of the magic charm was successful, but he did not teleport immediately, but the enchantment was loose and the space was stable. The reason may be that there is a 1 in 10,000 chance that the magic charm will fail, or it may be that there is something special about the space knock in Yi Feng's position. Cut with a knife in the back, use the wrong charm, killed by a sword. Coherent. The script didn't dare to do that. This heavenly soul fear curse is 100 million points strong. Zhang Chushuan's eyes lit up slightly. At this time, the prompt tone that had just appeared again. Congratulations on triggering the hidden family achievement, erasing the child of luck and getting the hidden reward. Hidden reward 1. Child of luck lock can be used once a month to determine the nearest child of luck. Hidden reward 2. 24%. Chapter 97. A bunch of evolvable weapons. Half-step / subscription required. Hidden reward 1. Child of luck locked. Hidden reward 2. Lucky Child Showdown. It takes a month to cool down once and can be designated to be used against a child of luck, regardless of the opponent's luck to launch a battle. Closing parenthesis. Hidden reward 3. Child of Luck Searchlight can be used in conjunction with the protagonist identification to know the type of child of luck. Hidden reward IV. Special chests. As you complete the hidden achievement reward, the system will make a national announcement to stimulate all the crossers to accelerate the family building. Another series of system prompts sounded. All this was exactly what Zhang Chushuan expected. Even being hostile by the Son of Luck can trigger the family's hidden achievements, so there is no reason to kill a child of luck without reward. As for the fact that Yifeng was killed by Yi Qingyu with a sword, that was just the appearance. It wasn't that Zhang Chushuan looked down on Yi Qingyu. If it weren't for his use of the heavenly soul dread curse, which made Yifeng change from a son of luck to a person of heavenly disgust, it would be impossible for Yi Qingyu to kill Yifeng at all. Yifeng will be killed, in the final analysis, because the heavenly soul was erased by Zhang Chushuan. But these things, there is no need to say them. The system reward ended, and the world announcement sounded again. World announcement. Xuantian continent Zhang Chushuan completes the hidden achievement and kills the Son of Luck and gets a series of rewards confidential. X3. As soon as the announcement came out, the whole lively world chat section suddenly fell silent, and completely exploded after a 3-second information vacuum. Death, death, death. The big guy is worthy of being the big guy. This solves the child of luck. What a child of luck. It turns out that we traversers are the chosen ones. The chosen one. On my side of the regional channel, half of the 10,000 people are dead. Which one said just now that it is not a good thing for the big man Zhang Chushuan to offend the Son of Luck? For the big guys, it's 2 reward opportunities funny. 99. Zhang Chushuan. Climb for the master. You don't understand the world of the big guy. Is there still a lack of pendants on the big guy's thighs? A wave of rational analysis. The son of vengeance and luck has hidden achievements, and the son of murderous luck has hidden achievements, then marry, subjugation and the like, is there also. Someone habitually does wrong reasoning. Many smart people have long realized this, and when they saw this, they immediately scolded him half to death. Smart, muffled and rich, is it not good to compete among smart people? Well, it is estimated that billions of people will take action against the children of luck. But there are smarter ones, just smiling disdainfully. In this fantasy world, most people have a hard time surviving, and it would be silly for someone to deal with the child of luck like a piglet. Of course, if someone is going to kneel and lick when they don't say. The first child to kneel and lick luck, maybe also get a hidden reward. But who knows who is the child of luck? Upstairs cow, it's okay to marry the son of luck. Quote. Silly lack, the crosser and the woman, why can't you marry the son of luck? Upstairs is even more stupid. Upstairs against that person is a man. This is a warrior who does not go down the sewers, but wants to take the dry road. You are all fools, and the children of luck are not only men, but also women, they are all sons. It seems that the beautiful male meter I have hidden for many years is about to be used. Miss Ben's beauty meter is also going to be used. A group of people suddenly chatted crookedly. Zhang Chushuan glanced at it casually and stopped paying attention. Now it is still outside, it is in the Qingyan sword sect, and the attention should be focused on the scene. On the round platform of the competition below, there were inner door law enforcement disciples who were ordered to inspect Yifeng's body. Zhang Chushuan sat and waited for the result on the surface, but in fact he clicked on the special treasure chest. You open special treasure chests, weapons, you can choose below. 10,000 devouring knife. Originally a yellow rank lower grade knife weapon, it can devour all weapon evolution, and theoretically there is no upper limit. 10,000 battles. It is originally a yellow rank lower grade gun, but it can evolve as the owner continues to fight in the battlefield, and theoretically there is no upper limit. 10,000 killing sword. The primary is a low grade sword weapon of the yellow rank, which can devour the opponent's blood and chi evolution after killing the warrior, and theoretically there is no upper limit. 10,000 soul halberd. The primary is a yellow rank lower grade halberd weapon, which can devour the opponent's 3 souls after killing the warrior, and theoretically there is no upper limit. 10,000 whip. Originally a yellow level lower grade whip, it can devour the opponent's 7 spirits and divine soul evolution after killing the opponent, and theoretically there is no upper limit. Last time it was a special secret class, this time it became a weapon class. Seeing the description of these optional weapons, Zhang Chushuan straightened up. Good things, all good things. Swords, halberds, everything, all able to evolve in some way. If you turn into an ordinary person, you will definitely choose guns and halberds. In the fantasy world, there is no lack of battle, the least lack of killing, the stronger the strength, the more people killed, the stronger the strength of the people killed. But Zhang Chushuan is different. When he is older, he likes to put it last and keep it for whole cards. But this 10,000 devouring knife is very suitable for him. With a 100-fold reward ability, the last thing he lacks is all kinds of resources. Devouring weapons is good, devouring weapons is wonderful. In the future, he can completely reward some Imperial soldiers 100 times to devour the 10,000 devouring sword, even if he surpasses all Imperial weapons in minutes. It seems that I am going to be on the path of the swordsman forever. Zhang Chushuan whispered in his heart and immediately made a choice. In the next moment, he noticed that there was a large knife in the air of the system with a simple appearance, pitch black, and releasing cold air. He touched with his mind, and the familiar prompt sounded. Consumable weapon detected. Consumption can be increased by the following 100 times. 1. 10,000 devouring knife x 100. Quote exclamation mark. Despite his preparations, Zhang Chushuan almost couldn't hold back his foul mouth. One of these 10,000 devouring knives is enough for Bug, he can actually have 100, and each of the core members of the family is enough. Is that the consumption is a little large. To feed 100,000 devouring knives, the consumption is an astronomical amount. Even if there is a 100-fold reward, it is not so easy. Weird. It seems that in the future, my strength is enough, I have to go to each holy place to borrow Imperial soldiers. Zhang Chushuan thought secretly. At this moment, the bodies of countless sleeping Imperial soldiers in the Xuantian continent trembled, feeling that they were being targeted by some terrifying existence. This knife looks good, but if 100 of them are all the same, it will be boring. Fortunately, as long as the 10,000 devouring knife has the ability to transform, it can become any knife that has devoured it, and its appearance is not constant. 99. For the 10,000 devouring knife, Zhang Chushuan could not be more satisfied. Everyone has their own aesthetic, as well as their own knives that they are accustomed to using. If it can be maintained and evolved occasionally, it is naturally the best. Moreover, after the level of the 10,000 devouring knife is increased, some special effects of good knives can be saved. When I get home, I will start doing things immediately. Zhang Chushuan secretly planned in his heart, until the law enforcement disciples of the inner sect of the Qingyan sword sect came to restore Yi Qingyu's life. Sect master, Yi Feng's whole body is cut off from life, and he is already alive and dead. Yi Feng was sure of death. Zhang Chushuan has already had a definite answer. After all, there is a system that decentralizes the achievement reward of the Son of Murderous Luck, which is the biggest real hammer. Moreover, those whose heavenly souls have been destroyed can't even do reincarnation, so they can only take the path of ghost cultivation. But Yi Feng was killed by Yi Qingyu, and the latter's sword contained a half-step sword power, eliminating the possibility of Yi Feng turning into a ghost. HMPH, drag it on, hand it over to the law enforcement hall, and deal with it according to the judgment. Yi Qingyu waved his hand with a gloomy face. Originally today was a good day. Not only her daughter Yi Zihan was in the limelight, but also established an in-law relationship with the Zhang family of the Hidden Family. When the Zhang family rises completely, the Qingyan sword sect will step into the 7th product just around the corner. Compared to the more ally of the Zhang family, losing control of Qingchuan Mansion is just a trivial matter. But Yi Feng's trouble was undoubtedly hitting the face of the Qingyan sword sect. Fortunately, in the end, this guy was killed by his own hands, and he did not succeed in holding Yi Zihan hostage and leaving, otherwise the Qingyan sword sect would lose face. Old man Zhang, can you live in the Qingyan sword sect for a while next? Yi Feng retracted his expression and looked at Zhang Chushuan with a smile. If Zhang Chushuan can live in the Qingyan sword sect for a few days, when today's events spread, while the name of Qingchuan province sweeps the Yu kingdom and even Nanyang prefecture, the Qingyan sword sect can also follow suit. As the master of a sect, Yi Qingyu would not have a little city government. However, his biggest expectation is to see the sword force. Zhang Chushuan does not make a move, Zhang Yanting can do it for the three. If he could observe the sword momentum and swallow the sword-shaped grass, Yi Qingyu would be 70% sure of mastering the sword momentum and stepping onto the true sword path. Just stay for a few days. When I came here, my Zhang family should have cleaned up the 3 sects of the Burning Incense Valley, and I had to go back to deal with the aftermath. But I can leave a meeting gift for my future granddaughter-in-law. When the words fell, Zhang Chushuan suddenly got up, already with an extra knife in his hand. In the next moment, he swung his knife and slashed at Yi Zihan. Seeing this, his pupils suddenly shrank. It's big. It's actually a knife intent. 25%. Chapter 98 Shocking. This knife can cut real people. Subscription required. Knife chi is the use of chi. A martial artist at the peak of the refining realm can sense the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, can control the spiritual energy of heaven and earth, and can naturally turn the spiritual energy into sword chi for use. Even the sevenfold martial artist who refines the body can use chi and blood to stimulate chi. Therefore, chi is not a primer. Mang, that is the high-end use of chi, is the upgrade of chi, but it is not out of the category. Ordinary swordsmen can touch manga when they master their own strength. But that's about it. If it is said that 90% of the 9 martial artists in this world stop at the peak realm of the refining body realm, then 9 out of 9 swordsmen stop at the realm of Mang. If you want to go further, you must understand the trend. Potential is God's primer. The stronger the strength, the stronger the soul, then the more likely and easier it is to comprehend the situation. But this does not mean that the soul is weak and cannot comprehend. On the contrary, if a weak soul strength comprehends, it represents talent and represents a stepping stone to the realm. Comprehension is the pursuit of all cultivators before the divine mansion realm. The so-called knife intent is the artistic conception of the knife user. It means that in the spirit and spirit, the unity of God's operation of the essence is the harmony of the virtual and the real in the spirit, which is born of accident and contained in the image. Tao intent, that is an extremely clever realm, is the swordsman's comprehension of the sword path to reach an unprecedented realm. This realm is called the ultimate meaning, it is an extension of the source. This origin only belongs to the knife. There is the domineering power of the knife, the strength of the knife, and the fierceness of the sword. For the swordsman, when he really understands what a knife is, he can play the original characteristics of the knife, no tricks to win, everything comes from the heart. When you fuse with the knife and exert your understanding of what you have understood, the knife comes to life. It is the sword intent. However, this realm only exists in legends in South 033 Yangzhou. Because that is the realm of the divine mansion realm, it is also a realm that can be touched very rarely. In general, only those kings can comprehend. But today, everyone here saw it. Seeing a great cultivator of the spirit realm, he unleashed his sword intent. In front of the sword intent, the great cultivator of the transformation spirit realm can only be a measly one. Boom! Zhang Chushuan rose in momentum. At this moment, the other person's sword in one, like a big knife from outside the sky, descended on this vast heaven and earth. Suddenly, a fierce wind rises, with an indomitable momentum. Zhang Chushuan struck, swinging the big knife. The pitch-black knife flashed, faster than thunderbolt, more terrifying than thunder. There were so many people on the scene, all of them were standing at the top of the pyramid of Qingyan Mansion, but no one had ever seen such a knife, let alone described Zhang Chushuan's sword. When this knife strikes, it seems to carry some kind of power from the throne. Kingcraft. Overbearing. All under this knife. This way down, without the will of the emperor, one thought of heaven, one thought of hell. Whoosh. Airplanes. Buzz. In the surrounding crowd, all the people with sabers trembled with the long knife at their waists, and then they were pulled by some kind and flew out on their own, hovering over Yi Zihan's head. Yi Zihan felt that the strangeness in his body was gone, the blood trick was restarted, the dantian was revived, and the blood chi and spiritual energy were churning in the meridians. But in the face of Zhang Chushuan's sword, he could no longer act. To be precise, before she had the idea of moving, everything was already settled. Yi Zihan found that his mind was blank, as if there was only that knife left. The demeanor of that knife made him understand how weak the force was. Time slipped away quietly before I knew it, and only when there was a discussion nearby did Yi Zihan come back to his senses. Shish, what do I see? Dao intent, it's actually sword intent. Zhang Chushuan old man is terrifying. Do you feel it? Old man Zhang Chushuan is also a late-stage strength of the transformation spirit realm, but the sword he just now is even more inexplicable than the real person of the Lanyu Pavilion Jaden realm that I have seen. It's too strong. It's actually a sword intent. It turns out that the old man Zhang Chushuan is the real peerless heavenly pride. Transforming the spirit realm to master the sword intent. What kind of monsters are the Zhang family? With the intention of driving the knife, all the real people are ants. It's just that old master Zhang is alone, and the strength of the Zhang family is enough to rival the 7-rank force. Brother Li, do you know how many sons and daughters the old man of the Zhang family has, or how many grandchildren? Brother Lin, are you wrong? My little granddaughter looks good, knows the book and is reasonable, and the martial arts cultivation is not bad. I use the Lin family heirloom sword method as a dowry. The position of wife and the world's wife is extravagant. I think it is not a problem to have the position of an imperial wife, right? 5. In the Xuantian continent, the strong are respected. If the strong man is a man, he can marry the 3rd lady, the 9th wife, the 27th royal wife, and countless concubines. Among them, the lady has the most noble status, and the royal wife also has a legal status. Only concubines are like playthings, and can even be given away. Brother Lin has an idea, saying that we can't wait to become in-laws. Brother Li is high. I'm going to get the knife first. Sword intent, horror like sea. Qingyan Peak towers into the clouds, with clouds overhead and on the mountainside. But at this moment, a huge vortex appeared in the white clouds overhead, and the sunlight scattered through the mouth of the whirlpool and shone on Qingyan Peak. This is influenced by Zhang Chushuan's sword intent. There is also a scene of wonder, which is the various big knives that pierce the ground around Yi Zihan, all of which show the strength of the sword intent, which can make 10,000 knives submit. Zhang family, Zhang Chushuan. Dear master, it is actually so strong. Yi Qingyu, as the person with the strongest real AEE power on the scene, also comprehended the half-step sword momentum, and was the person who had the deepest understanding on the scene when Zhang Chushuan took out the knife just now. Facing Zhang Chushuan's sword, he only had 4 words in his heart. Unbeatable. This situation is terrible. Yi Qingyu once fought with the Lanyu Pavilion master Shenglin Piaoshi, who was a real person from the Jaden realm 3 revolutions. At that time, although he felt the gap between the two sides, with the half-step sword force, he would not even be able to resist. At least he had a chance to escape. Although Shenglin Piaoshi definitely did not use his full strength, Lanyu Pavilion has Taisheng Elder Shenglin Qian is a real person in the 6 turns of the Jaden realm, and his strength is unmatched. But in the end, perception can see. But Zhang Chushuan's knife made Yi Qingyu have only one feeling in his heart. Face, i.e. die. And this, obviously, is not Zhang Chushuan's strength. Zhang family, how strong is it? Qingyan sword sect, make plans early. Yi Qingyu looked up at the sky and took out the cloud vortex. Just now, when everyone was still immersed in the demeanor of that sword, the latter had already returned to the back of the organ beast Suzaku with his 3 grandsons. Now, it's almost out of the area. Walked quite chic. But Yi Qingyu can only be respectful. I just don't know what Zhang Chushuan is talking about as a meeting gift. Seeing the sword intention, is it a meeting gift? Are you sure it's not getting off the horse? Buzz, buzz, buzz tilde operator. At this moment, the disciples present in the Qingyan sword sect, as well as the people with horns, noticed a trace of strangeness around their waists. The long sword is making a sound. Sword roar. Could it be that the sword intent is so strong that even other weapons will be affected? Not true. Many smart people were the first to react and looked in the direction of the Qingyan sword sect's sword test platform. In the encirclement of nearly 100 big knives, Yi Zihan closed his eyes, and a fierce momentum gradually transmitted from his body, as if he wanted to stab the sky above. Sword stance. Zihan actually comprehended the sword force. Yi Qingyu was surprised and delighted. He never expected that Yi Zihan would actually be able to comprehend the sword power at this time. In this world, a swordsman who can comprehend a half-step sword force, in the end, only less than 1 layer can truly master the sword force, which is the difference between peerless genius and Tianzhao. Stepping over the past, it is completely 2 levels. Unexpectedly, Yi Zihan actually stepped over. For a moment, Yi Qingyu even regretted letting Yi Zihan and Zhang Yanting make a marriage contract. After all, after the woman got married, his Qingyan sword sect became his mother's family, and the relationship was separated by a layer. But he quickly extinguished the idea. From his father's point of view, Yi Zihan marrying into the Zhang family has only benefits. That's enough. At this moment, Yi Zihan opened his eyes, and there was a flow of essence light in his eyes, which seemed to be sword chi. She looked up at her father and said in surprise, "Father is coming. Grandpa Zhang is leaving a touch of sword intent. which can make people feel the momentum. If you use it with the sword-shaped grass, you will definitely be able to master the sword force. What? Yi Qingyu's heart was shocked, and he immediately cast his body, like a sword light flashing in the air, falling to Yi Zihan's side. Look, father. Yi Zihan pointed to the front of his feet, where there was a ravine. Yi Qingyu fixed his eyes, and his mind suddenly went blank. It took a long time for him to come to his senses, and he immediately took out his sword-shaped grass suit, and then sat cross-legged on the ground. At this moment, a sword light shot from the top of Qingyan Peak, and it fell steadily beside Yi Qingyu. When Yi Zihan saw him, he hurriedly saluted. "I have seen Grandpa Zhu." The old man ignored Yi Zihan, just looked at the ravine, and said solemnly, "I can't take this knife at all. This knife can cut the Dan realm." 25%. Chapter 99. I really like sword cultivation, strong and honest. Subscription required. This is meaning. Looking at that trace, Yi Hai, the Taishang elder of the Qingyan sword sect, had a dark look in his eyes and sighed in his heart. He is a peak great cultivator of the transformation spirit realm, and his strength is by no means weak in the territory of the Yu Kingdom, but in front of a true genius, he seems so small. Buzz, buzz, buzz tilde operator. At this moment, the sound of swords appeared again. On the ground of the sword test platform, Yi Qingyu, who was sitting cross-kneeled, gradually floated, his body left the ground, and a sharp momentum surrounded him. This momentum burst out from his body and spread out in all directions, carrying a sharp edge, causing everyone to feel a tingling sensation. That was the power that Yi Zihan did not have when he mastered the sword power just now. The gap between the late stage of the spirit realm and the early stage of the gathering spirit realm is very obvious. With the same comprehension of the sword power, the power that Yi Qingyu can show cannot be compared to Yi Zihan's gathering spirit realm. Very strong indeed. Yi Qingyu opened her eyes. Her eyes were like electricity, and she shot out a sword light that materialized. Boom. 99. The sword shot onto the high platform and exploded with a bang. The gaze turns into a sword light, which is more powerful than ordinary people using sword light. This is both a spiritual attack and an actual attack, and its power is comparable to the full strength of an ordinary cultivator in the transformation spirit realm. This is the shallow power that a great cultivator of the transformation spirit realm can display after mastering the sword power. It seems that the teacher is completely inferior to you. Seeing this scene, Yi Hai's eyes were full of satisfaction, but there was a melancholy hidden in the depths of his eyes. He was happy that the Qingyan sword sect had Yi Qingyu, the sect master. With such a sect master, the Qingyan sword sect will definitely rise to the next level. But as a master, he has been surpassed in just a few decades, and he is destined to be difficult to carry in the future, and he is always a little embarrassed. Fortunately, the Qingyan sword sect is even more a floor, and his chance of breaking through the Jaden realm is several points greater. And if you can break through to the Jaden realm, you can increase your life expectancy by another 300 years. At that time, he could witness the rise of the Qingyan sword sect with his own eyes. At that time, it may not be that there may not be an opportunity to explore the divine mansion realm. It's a pity that although he has long mastered the sword to the subversion level, he has never been able to enter, otherwise the future will be clearer. Master, why don't you face this sword intent? Yi Qingyu's voice came, making Yi Hai's expression startled, a little puzzled. Facing the sword intent, Yi Qingyu understood that his own master only felt the power of the sword intent, but did not pay attention to Zhang Chushuan's intention to leave this sword intent. Master, this is a meeting gift left by old master Zhang to Zihan, and it can also be regarded as a meeting gift left for my Qingyan sword sect. Putting your spirit fully into watching the remnants of the sword intent allows the spirit to enter a peculiar realm and feel the sword force. With this sword strength, Zihan and I have a chance to comprehend the sword power. Yi Qingyu gave the answer, making Yi Hai breathe. This sword intent left by Zhang Chushuan actually has this intention. Can the sword intent make the cultivator comprehend the situation? As if he knew what he was still thinking, Yi Qingyu continued to explain. Master, I also knew by comprehending the sword momentum that the artistic conception can indeed make people feel the situation. But this still depends on the talent of the refiner himself. If the talent is not good, even if we have been able to feel the sword intent, it is useless, but it will defeat a person's spirit. 35. Just now, Zihan faced old Master Zhang's sword, and he felt the deepest, so that he could comprehend the sword force, and I have already taken half a step of the sword force, and I can also contact the perception and improve. However, old man Zhang left this cannot exist forever, and will dissipate with time or the increase in the number of uses. I chose to stop after consuming 30% and chose the sword-shaped grass to break through. The remaining 70%, Master, you, the Great Elder, the Third Elder, and the Sixth Elder can all try to comprehend. Maybe they can take half a step of the sword force, and with me at that time, you will be able to comprehend the sword force sooner or later. Yi Hai, the Great Elder, the Third Elder, and the Sixth Elder had already completely mastered the sword power, and there was only one step left before the sword power. With Zhang Chushuan's sword intent, it is very likely to take that half step. Once you take a step, you have the opportunity to fully comprehend the sword force. In fact, some geniuses of the Qingyan sword sect can also try to comprehend, because comprehending the sword power does not necessarily have to master the sword power, and the heavenly vertical wizard can cross the two realms. But such geniuses are a minority after all, and the sword intent is a consumable. Instead of betting on geniuses, it is better to definitely increase the strength of the existing strong. In this way, the old man really has a chance to comprehend the sword force. 35. Yi Hai's expression was excited, but he quickly converged again. It's just that, my Qingyan sword sect and the Zhang family cause and effect can be great. Master, don't worry, the Zhang family and the Qingyan sword sect will soon become in-laws, their own people. Yi Qingyu was born to comfort. I hope operator. Yi Hai glanced deeply at Yi Qingyu Yi, and finally didn't say anything. He is 80 years old, 35 years ago 45. 36 years ago, he went to Qingchuan province to witness some things and was deeply impressed by Zhang Chushuan. Zhang Chushuan, that's a ghost fox, a soldier demon, and now I'm afraid it's an old fox. Got a long snack. Grandpa, isn't this considered an enemy? On the Suzaku beast, Zhang Yanting scratched his head and asked. The sword intent can indeed make people feel, provided that the other party's talent is strong enough. If you want to let the ungifted feel, you need to release it after perfectly fusing the spirit and spirit, although it will not hurt the root, but it cannot be used at will, and each release must be rested for a period of time. Enemies. Zhang Chushuan put his hands behind his back and smiled indifferently. No enemy. I just cast a half-step sword intent, not a real sword intent. If someone in the Qingyan sword sect can comprehend the sword power by relying on that half-step sword intent, it can only mean that he has a talent himself, and I just play an accelerating role. 5. If you don't have talent, the command consumes that will. And sword cultivation is different from ordinary cultivators. He pays great attention to mental state cultivation, and pays attention to cause and effect from the beginning of stepping into the gathering spirit realm, and will eliminate evil if he does not kill indiscriminately. That's why your grandfather and I took you to practice swords, but you like to make friends with swordsmen, they all rely on it. Zhang Chushuan said seriously. One word. Sword cultivation is either not strong, strong must be a good person. A good man with strong strength, Zhang Chushuan likes it very much. Zhang Yanmo and the three exchanged a look, indicating that they had learned again. In this regard, Zhang Chushuan said that this is where it goes. But there is no need to tell the three grandchildren, they are still young, and now they just need to become stronger. Feeling the communication token vibrating in the ring, Zhang Chushuan took it out and pinched the magic trick to open it. The voices of Zhang Yanren, Zhang Jingxi, and Nangong Mushui immediately came from inside. Is it all done? Zhang Chushuan smiled indifferently. He ran all the way from Qingchuan Mansion to Qingyan Mansion, watched an inner gate competition, found a good granddaughter for his grandson, and killed a son of luck by the way. Nangong Mushui and them finished 3 things, which is really normal. At this time, Lin Gai's surprised voice came from the token. Could it be that the patriarch has taken someone to solve the Qingyan sword sect? 0. Immediately after, Zhang Jingxi's calm voice sounded. That's right, you analyzed correctly. Then, Zhang Chushuan heard a barrage of hiss, hiss, hiss. Obviously, Lin Gai and Baixiang Daoren and others were frightened and unclear. I thought, this fantasy world has no greenhouse effect. 95. Zhang Chushuan raised his head and looked at the pure blue field. What are these people trying so hard to pump air conditioners for? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Zhang Yanmo and the 3 looked confused. What is the greenhouse effect? Grandpa is talking nonsense again. How strong is your Zhang family? Lin Gai couldn't help but ask. He knew Zhang Chushuan and knew Zhang Chushuan. This is a wise man. For ordinary warriors, any 3-point opportunity can be a fight. The road of warriors, a word, fight, runs through life. For smart people, they must be at least 60% sure, or get a 60% chance of success of a thing before they make a move. And Zhang Chushuan must be 100% sure before he makes a move. This is not fear of death, but confidence. Therefore, Zhang Chushuan went to the Qingyan sword sect. There must be a way to take it. But it's incredible. The Qingyan sword sect is not an ordinary 8-rank force, but an 8-rank top sect, and its subordinates are in charge of 3 8-rank families. If it weren't for such strength, it would be impossible for Lanyu Pavilion to be valued and rule over the 2 provinces. Xiaolinzi, how strong my Zhang family is, you will know soon. Zhang Chushuan chuckled and spoke. In the incense-burning valley, Lin Gai was like a lightning strike, and his body trembled. The title Xiaolinzi reminded him of some unbearable things. How strong the Zhang family is, soon you will know. Zhang Chushuan said lightly. Fujun, has the Qingyan sword sect been completely resolved? Nangong Mushui's voice sounded. Yes, operator. Qingyan sword sect is completely done. Qingchuan Mansion starts today. My Zhang family has the final say. By the way, I have set a marriage for Yan Ting. She is the daughter of the sect master of the Qingyan sword sect. She looks good. She is 18 years old and a half-step sword force, and her talent is also good. You are ready. When the time comes, I will be hired. 9. Zhang Chushuan's casual voice came, but it made Lin Gai and the others feel like they were dreaming. Sect master of Qingyan sword sect. That great cultivator in the late stage of the incarnation spirit realm, comprehending the half-step sword power. His daughter is so powerful, 18 years old to comprehend the sword force. And such a powerful daughter has set a marriage with your grandson, but look at you like this, or the other party earned it. If I didn't know that you were Zhang Chushuan, I would never believe it. At the same time, Vietnam is the largest center of power. The country of Vietnam, above the court. King Yu and a kind of courtier did not rush to leave after opening the early dynasty. Everyone is waiting for a message. And this news, which came quickly, did not make them wait for a long time. Newspaper. A Xuanjia guard knelt on one knee in front of the temple. Enter. King Yu fluttered softly, but his voice also sounded in everyone's ears. Obey the king's orders. The Xuanjia guard strode in and said respectfully, Your Excellency, there is urgent news from the Lord of Qingchuan Mansion. Read. King Yu spoke. Everyone in the hall looked at the Xuanjia guards with curiosity in their eyes. But there are also many people who show disdain and contempt. But these emotions all turned into shock after the Xuanjia guard spoke. This morning, the Xingyu sect, the Burning Incense Valley, and the Haichao sect were all destroyed by the Zhang family in Lingxia Town, Dongxing County. River. 25%. Chapter 100. The prestige of the time is still there, and the court is stormy. Subscription required. Xuantian Continent, Nanyangzhou, Dongyu County, Yudu. The King of Vietnam City is located here and has a history of 300 years. At this time, a man's firm and loud voice sounded in the Yu King Palace. On the king, the Zhang family successfully destroyed 3 sects. This answer made everyone present stunned, and their hearts were full of thoughts. The Zhang family actually wiped out 3 cases. How dare he? Those who can watch in the hall are at least in the gathering spirit realm, and many are even in the spirit gathering realm. In other words, it is not simple for everyone to live a long time. These people will not pay attention to the enemies of a province, a county and a town at all, let alone a family in the town that has not entered the 9 products. But when the patriarch of this family is Zhang Chushuan, they will care. In the 5 Kingdoms War 36 years ago, Zhang Chushuan came out of nowhere, and his performance was so amazing that even many real people in the Jaden realm were paying attention, and said that he had the talent to learn battle formations. Unfortunately, Zhang Chushuan suffered an accident not long after, was destroyed and went to Dantian, and then found one. A small place nestled. The genius of the 053 generation of battle formations was destroyed. Without Dantian, it means that Zhang Chushuan will stop at the peak of the refining body realm at most, and even a gathering spirit realm cultivator will not be able to become one. This made the Yu royal family and major families not want to look for him even if they knew that he was there, even if he was the soldier demon who used soldiers like a demon. In the eyes of the strong, wisdom can shorten a certain distance, but it cannot change the essential difference. But this man suddenly reappeared in front of them after 36 years. The first thing was to stop the beast tide with his own strength and subdue the 6-winged purple thunder lion, a Zon-rank murderer comparable to a cultivator of the transformation spirit realm. This 6-winged purple thunder lion is a thunder in talent and a first-class genius in the incarnation spirit realm, and the news clearly states that Zhang Chushuan defeated the 6-winged purple thunder lion with 1 sword, although this sounds exaggerated, but they all believe it. First, They are confident in their messaging channels. Second, if Zhang Chushuan had an organic fate, it would not be uncommon for Zhang Chushuan to step into the incarnation spirit realm at the age of 65 and possess the strength to defeat the six-winged purple thunder lion with one sword. Everyone is curious about what the soldier demon, who reappeared in front of everyone's eyes, will do next. Unexpectedly, he would attack the three major sects in Qingchuan Mansion. This looks stupid in front of everyone. Zhang Chushuan is a great cultivator of the transformation spirit realm, and it is not difficult to deal with the three major sects. But behind the three major sects is the Qingyan Sword Sect, the first 8-rank force of the Yu Kingdom, second only to Lanyu Pavilion and the Yu royal family. Zhang Chushuan's attack on the three major sects is equivalent to sweeping away the face of the Qingyan Sword Sect. Those sword cultivators of the Qingyan Sword Sect are not easy to mess with, and they have a strong temperament, so they don't want to suffer losses. Zhang Chushuan this decision, not wise. If it is replaced by them, they will choose to settle in the capital as soon as possible, and then certify the Bapan family and establish a good relationship with the Vietnamese royal family. And the squalor between the Yiyu royal family and the Lanyu Pavilion will definitely help the Zhang family to hold the position of the first family of Qingchuan province, and then help it gradually take power. With great righteousness and local governance, the government always has an advantage over the sect. In the eyes of many people, Zhang Chushuan may have been depressed for too long, wanting to make a sound too much, and went unconscious. But they didn't expect that this fainting trick could faint to such a point. Zhang Chushuan actually wiped out the Xingyu sect, the Siqiao sect, and the Burning Incense Valley. Incredible. This is simply hitting the face of the Qingyan Sword Sect, and it is also hitting the face of Lanyu Pavilion. And in the absence of his advance allegiance to the royal family, it is impossible for the royal family to help. Because he doesn't have that value yet. Interesting. 9. A flash of surprise and curiosity flashed in the narrow eyes of Shahu, the monarch of the Yu Kingdom. This Zhang Chushuan, he had heard many times in the ears of his father, that is, the previous king of the Yu Kingdom, Shaho Tian, and his father had always regretted it, saying that if Zhang Chushuan was not destroyed, he would have to cultivate it to the spirit transformation realm even if he spent countless resources. At that time, with Zhang Chushuan's unparalleled talent to lead the troops and repair the way of battle, there is a 70% chance of winning this game of chess in Nanyangzhou. If the country of Vietnam finally stands out and becomes the victorious country in the chess battle, according to the alliance of the 5 major and 6 product forces, it will be rewarded richly. If you give supplies, help promote the dynasty. If you give 100 years, let the dynasty sit firmly in this land of South Yangzhou, and order all the 7 pin forces in the state. There are many other benefits, all of which can make the 7 product forces excited. But this Zhang Chushuan, Dantian, was destroyed. Shah Haodian suspected that the enemy country sent someone to do it, but there was no evidence, and there was no point in recovering it. After all, the elixir that can repair the Dantian is a town sect level treasure in the 6-pin sect, and it is impossible for the Yu state to use it for Zhang Chushuan. That can't be road. Unexpectedly, Zhang Chushuan rose on his own. I thought it was just a fun to listen to it today, but now it seems that there may be a big show to watch. Read the specifics. Shaho Jing's interested voice sounded. Obey the king. 35. The Xuanjia guard handed over his hand, then spread out the information in his hand and read aloud. At 7 o'clock, the second generation of the Zhang family, the 5th girl, Zhang Jingxi, met the sect master of the Burning Incense Valley Baixiang Taoist under the leadership of the people of the Burning Incense Valley, and the two sides talked in detail for half an hour. 39. At that moment, the Baixiang Taoist held a sect meeting, reached some kind of agreement during the period, and finally decided to join the Zhang family. Specific information. Still inquiring. The Xuanjia guard finished reading the first message in one breath, and did not rush to read it, leaving time for everyone in the hall to digest. It seems that this Zhang family is a little stronger than we guessed. Sima Liang, the left minister of the Yu Kingdom, said, with a smile on his face. After the court, everyone discussed the strength of the Zhang family to what extent, and even some officials asked everyone to gamble the so-called pleasant feelings. The monarch Shaho Jing not only did not oppose this matter, but also participated in Yukunshin with a smile, and suppressed a lower-grade spirit stone Zhang family as an 8-rank medium strength 0. The inferior forces of the 8 products need to have 3 strong people in the early stage of the transformation spirit realm, or 1 strong person above the middle stage of the transformation spirit realm to sit in the town. The medium strength of the 8 products requires 3 strong people in the early stage of the transformation spirit realm, and 1 strong person above the middle stage of the transformation spirit realm to sit in the town. The 8 rank high-level forces need to have more than 5 strong people in the transformation spirit realm, and 1 strong person in the late stage of the transformation spirit realm to sit in the town. The top power of the 8 products needs to have more than 7 strong people in the transformation spirit realm, as well as 1 strong person at the peak of the transformation spirit realm to sit in the town. The Zhang family's already known strength is the 6-winged purple thunder lion, the black crystal worm, and the Zhang Chushuan. Among them, although the 6-winged purple thunder lion is powerful, it can only be regarded as the early strength of the transformation spirit realm when it comes to strength rating, and the black crystal python has just broken through to become a black crystal worm, and the situation is the same. Coupled with Zhang Chushuan, a solid spirit realm powerhouse, it is a sure thing for the Zhang family to become an 8-rank inferior family. Xiahou Jing's bet was tantamount to gambling that the Zhang family still had hidden spirit realm powerhouses, and at least one of them was above the middle stage of the transformation spirit realm. If Zhang Chushuan is still that Zhang Chushuan can endure not even the Jupan family for so many years, these things may indeed happen. And Zhang Chushuan subdued the 6-winged purple thunder lion with 1 sword, and his strength was likely to exceed the middle stage of the transformation spirit realm. It seems to be a gamble, but in fact, it is stable. And Sima Liang, he bet that a lower-grade spirit stone Zhang family is an 8-rank superior force. Now hearing that the Zhang family can let the Incense Valley surrender without bloodshed, it can be seen that the strength is very strong, and he is naturally a little happy. It's just fun to win. Sima Liang, as a powerhouse at the peak of the incarnation spirit realm, is not happy for a lower-grade spirit stone. Operator. Xiahou Jing smiled faintly and said casually, "Keep reading." The Xuanjia guard received the order and immediately read. At the beginning of the hour, Zhang Yanren, a member of the 3 generations of the Zhang family, went to the Xingyu sect alone 4.4, and in a quarter of an hour, he destroyed the sect master and elders of the Xingyu sect. At that moment, the Zhang family's escort team of 100 people went up the mountain and captured all the 2,351 people from the entire Xingyu sect, including the miscellaneous disciples, and after half a quarter of an hour, Zhang Yanren ordered to kill all the elders, core disciples, and inner disciples of the Xingyu sect, and repatriate the outer disciples and miscellaneous disciples for a total of 1,900. This news made everyone hold their breath, and Xiahou Jing even tightened his smile. Zhang Chushuan is 65 years old, and most of the people present know it. That 3rd generation of disciples of the Zhang family will be 20 years old, right? One person destroys a 9-rank superior sect. Even if they are descendants of the Yu royal family and the children of the Qipin family, only a very few of them with extremely high talents, with the accumulation of a large number of resources of the royal family, can do it. How can everyone not be surprised? If it weren't for the fact that he wanted to maintain the demeanor of the monarch, Xiahou Jing would have interrupted to ask when he heard that Zhang Yanren had single-handedly destroyed the Xingyu sect. Read that message. Destroyed the Xingyu sect. Read that message. Destroyed the Xingyu sect. Read that message.